Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Tornado Tag Podcast. We are back and we are live. Someone's vibrating.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah, it's only an alarm's going off.
Comcast.
Comcast is calling you.
Oh, they called me earlier too. They wanted me to buy another phone line.
Oh,
There you go.
Really? You need another phone line now?
Well, I'm gonna start drug dealing, so yeah.
yeah, gotta need that second phone. If you guys
Need
are
a burner.
I
listening,
need the burner, yeah.
make sure you subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. Head over in our links below and head over to our brand new YouTube channel. Give it a subscribe. We're getting real close to like 50, which is pretty exciting because we just made it a couple weeks ago. Follow us on all social media. Head over to our website, iwepnetwork.com, to follow the rest of our lineups and shows that are going on our website and our network, as well as the great shows like Welcome Back, Hart, in other words, Stay Doomed, and We Like Professional Wrestling. Tonight we have a guest, and then after our guest comes on, we're going to cover some topical stuff, what's going on now, professional wrestling. We'll talk a little AEW because some exciting stuff happened, as well as our main event, which will be ECW Barely Legal.
Only on pay-per-view.
Yeah, so we'll cover that entire show.
Oh my god.
I think we've only covered like a handful of shows, and 2 of them have been the ECW shows, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, Heat Wave, I know we did.
And
And
Heatwave and that are
November to Remember.
Yeah.
Didn't age well.
No.
Yeah, no,
This one aged a little bit better.
a little better, but we want to bring in our guest here, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast. What's going on, bud?
What's going on, Anthony? Good to be on your show tonight.
Yeah,
we were on mine.
We did a little swap guest spot. So I was on your podcast. We talked.
Yes.
We talked blow up dolls and drugs.
Yes, and cocaine and
Yeah, we talked. So if you really want to hear that great conversation, head over to Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast.
That was with the blow up doll that wrestled Kota Ibushi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yoshihiki.
we're dating now.
But
yeah.
actually, if you talk about like flashback to ECW, you know, when I remember I showed you that chair, Balls Mahoney. Well, Anthony, at a couple of shows, he actually was asking me for painkillers.
I believe
yeah?
that.
That sounds like Balls Mahoney.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely.
We did a couple shows at the Hamburg Fieldhouse. We were looking in the back underneath the bleachers for the candies.
Yeah.
Couldn't find
The
any.
animals.
Zahorian
The
secret
animals.
stash.
Yeah, rumor has it there's a treasure map
Oh, God.
to the Zorian
So-
secret stash.
It was out back by the creek.
Here's an interesting Balls Mahoney story. It's very likely that one of the last things he ever saw was a friend of mine. A friend of mine, not like in real life, a friend of mine I know online. Is this guy Rick, and Rick was on Jeopardy. He was a 2-time Jeopardy champion.
Wow.
And Balls Mahoney passed away, according to his wife, after watching Jeopardy, and it was while Rick was on Jeopardy.
Your friend killed
Oh,
Balls
jeez.
Mahoney.
We always tell him he killed Balls Mahoney.
Oh, man.
Did he win that night?
Yes,
He did?
it was one of the nights he won.
Balls Mahoney's now in though.
No, Balls Mahoney lost.
He killed it. Your friend killed it.
Literally killed him.
There it is. In the chat, what's going on? Alexis, she's back.
No, I am.
It's been a
for
while.
her.
She's
Been a while,
disappeared.
yeah.
Yeah, she's back. Our super fan. Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you are watching live, make sure you hit that share button. Also, we brought back the community page. It's no longer the community page. It's going to be the fan page. And if you try to spam it with your nonsense, I will remove you. There's no more warnings. I try to do the Saturday thing where share your content Saturday, and it doesn't really apply if people actually doesn't follow it. They just
do
see it as a
whatever,
page
yeah.
and they dump their stuff on it.
If you do that, we're gonna make you watch my friend on Jeopardy.
Yep.
Like that. Like that.
And you
religious
might turn
guy
out like
at one
Balls
time.
Mahoney.
Replay. You know,
Yeah,
over
yeah.
and over.
So yeah, man, how did you venture into this podcast world?
Well, you know what? I just was like, I'm a fan of wrestling. You know, I was a fan of wrestling and just was like, you know what? Let me see what this is all about. Listened to a couple of podcasts like Steve Austin, a couple other ones, and I was like, you know what? I could do this. As a fan of wrestling, I could support and do and tell people there's, you know, the wrestlers, talk about their stories and their past, and you know, and help support their local promotions. You know, to let them know who they are as wrestlers and promoters, and the list goes on and on. You know, just to branch out.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a huge reason kind of we got into it as well. So I definitely agree with that sentiment. Now, where are you based out of for people who don't know?
Well, I am right here based out of the Jersey Shore, Bricktown, New Jersey. I'm dead smack in the middle between Point Pleasant Beach and Seaside Heights.
Oh, wow.
We will try not to hold that against you.
No.
Seaside used to be really nice in the day.
Jersey's a
Yeah.
weird
Before
town.
Jersey Shore
Jersey's
took
not.
over.
Jersey gets a bad rap.
Well,
Jersey's
Jersey's.
cool.
We're supposed to get a brewery though.
I'll tell you
We're
what.
supposed to-
You guys have a few.
Well,
Yeah, but they want to open another one, like a nice building.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you a craft beer fan?
I love all kinds of beer.
What's your favorite style?
You name it.
Oh, so you
I like
you
ale.
have the
I
seafood
like-
diet. You see it, you drink it.
Yes, exactly. You name it.
I like it. I like it. Was it Bolero Snort? Is
I have
that
no idea.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good breweries. I just don't know what. Jersey's like
You're
one
talking to
giant.
the three wrong people for that.
I know. Jersey's
Yeah.
like just one big giant conglomerate for me. Like when I'm in Jersey, it's just all.
Oh
Jersey.
no.
Oh,
Cape
man.
Cape
Jersey's-
has a nice brewery too.
There's North, there's South,
Yeah.
there's Camden.
Like there's
Newark.
Yeah.
like South Jersey is basically Philly, North Jersey is basically New York, and then there's another whole thing in between.
But
Yeah.
but Anthony, they recently, over in Asbury Park, there's the whiskey distillery
Bam,
yeah,
Mhm.
greetings from Asbury Park.
Mhm.
Yeah,
right on Main Street.
we were supposed to do a show there one time.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, that didn't
That
work out.
didn't happen.
That did not happen. Can you talk again in your mic real quick,
Who, me?
Kelly?
Me?
Yeah, you're good. All right, sorry, I wasn't hearing you in my head when you were talking before. Sorry. We're fucking
But-
we're banging on.
But
all
anyway,
cylinders.
back to where the podcasting. I looked around and I found two guys to help me out because I was like a dumb person. I didn't know what was going on with technology and shit. So I found these guys out of Florida, Daytona, Florida, and they started a network called the Podcast City Network, and just branched out to just local people or people trying to get into the podcast business to show their product. And so I linked up with them, and they have a huge following over I'd say a huge following because he also runs a sports podcast, and that kills it over like 40K.
Wow.
Oh wow, good for
Yeah.
him.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And what are that Sports City? What's the network called?
Podcast City Network. Podcast City Network.
There it is.
Mhm.
Now, how long have you been going at this podcasting?
Probably 5 now. Going 5.
5 years?
Mhm.
Wow, man, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely hear your sentiment on still figuring shit out. Our first couple of years, we were using our microphones wrong. I didn't.
Well,
Find
I wonder who helped you fix that problem.
out. Brian's roommate.
The Murder My Dude gang comes on, and the microphones get fixed.
I will give all credit to Jack.
Yeah, see,
Because Jack was fiddling with the microphones and he was talking into it and spun it. He goes,
Yeah.
it sounds better this way. And I'm like, this whole time.
Mhm.
This whole time.
Yeah, just do the research, find all the equipment, and just
So our first flaw was we bought cardio mics, which is kind of like it's like a microphone, but it's like a sponge. It's gonna
Yeah.
suck up the whole room.
Yeah.
Instead of that
that's
sweet
the
spot with the-
area.
yeah,
And that's
it's
where
gonna be
we
omnidirectional.
Why did they call it a cardio mod?
that's so there's cardio and dynamic. What we're using are dynamic.
Not cardio.
mics.
It's like cartoid, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay,
cardio. I'm
okay.
just
Not cardio.
I'm thinking
Because you got to work out when you
what
use it.
the
Yeah.
hell? Are you jogging while you use this or what?
Yeah.
It's powered by your heartbeat.
Yeah. So you just get it on a treadmill and you put the mic on it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Today.
cardio. I don't know. I'm dumb.
All right.
But yeah,
I'm getting out of podcasting if that ever happens.
if we have to start
that sounds like a
Wow.
PCO. That sounds like a PCO kind of microphone.
The only one at this table who could do it is Andy.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Our
My-
dear
Tony's out,
friend
Brian's
PCO.
out.
our
Yeah.
best friend,
Mm,
our
yeah,
new
right.
best friend PCO. We just met him.
Not human. Yeah.
He's
What about
awesome.
the shirt? I would have worn it today, but I wanted to wear the Christmas.
We'll
Brock Lesnar
talk
one.
about that at the second half of the show. We'll talk about our
Mhm.
PCO experience.
Mm.
Yeah. So
He
No,
was
you're at
actually. I
Go
think
ahead, I'm
Anthony, I think I told you that he was one of my guests previous
really?
while back, way back when I started getting into
Oh.
the game of pod. Yeah.
nice,
That's
man.
awesome.
That's
That might be a guest of ours soon. We
Mm.
we had a little conversation, but he's booked solid. That guy's working.
Mhm.
He is booked. So yeah, he's in LA tonight. Tomorrow night, actually.
Oh, wow.
For
Yeah,
LA.
It's on the
LA.
what a nice guy. But like I said, we'll get to that
He'd be
second
good
half.
for NWA. Like if NWA was.
He'd be good anywhere.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like as a character in
Yeah,
NWA,
he would be
like,
perfect for
he'd
them,
Fit great there.
Did you watch his match?
Not a whole lot of it.
Ooh. Me and you watched it
Yeah.
from the back, and it was just
I told him how he would take bumps to the floor from the ring, like just
yeah.
no mats.
I only
Like-
the only match I really saw a lot of was the 4-way with Davey Richards.
okay.
But everything else I saw like little snippets.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about all that later.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
your promotions in Jersey. What are some promotions you like to go to? What are some promotions that you started
Yeah.
covering?
When CZW was CZW, but I still throw it out there, whatever. But Game Changer Wrestling, of course, GCW, Titan Championship Wrestling.
That's where Johnny Moran wrestles.
Yeah.
Is champion there?
Yes.
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 Yep.
Yes. Yeah. A whole bunch of people. Yeah.
Is that the one where him and Mastodon just won the tag titles?
No, that's New York.
No,
yeah.
that
That's
was
New York
yeah,
wrestling.
New York.
He just
New
beat
York.
Mac,
Mhm.
I'm not
Steve
sure.
Mack?
who they-
Steve Mack for the title
Yes.
at Titan.
Okay.
I helped shoot that promo they did where they were
Oh,
inside the sanctuary.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, I was part.
Oh,
I
sweet.
helped film that.
Sweet. Yeah. And H2O, of course, and just whatever
Okay.
comes around. Just
Yeah.
whatever comes around.
Yeah, H2O is a blast.
Mm-hmm.
They do a really good job. I this will kind of segue into the next question here. So, what makes you a deathmatch wrestling fan? Because I got to be honest, it's tough. It's tough for me to watch. Not that I don't like it. Not that the ring psychology is not there. Not because that's all the things people say. Like, there's no ring. It's just what I mean. It to me, I guess becoming friends with the wrestlers. I don't want to see you take if you're like, hey, I'm doing a death match, I might skip that show
Yeah.
because I don't want to see you take a bump. He did a ladder match. I was like, fucking don't do
If
that.
Andy told me he was doing a death match, I think somebody kidnapped Andy and is wearing his face as a mask.
Probably
Yeah.
the end. Then, you know?
It's
It's an
terrifying, man.
alien
They
Andy.
You know what? But we'll talk about Jordan Oliver stepping it up, right? How about that tomorrow? Right, tomorrow night he's facing Atticus Kogar in his first ever. Right, they are facing. Ooh, that's interesting, actually.
what promotion is that?
Game Changer.
Oh, Game Changer. Yeah, I just it's a hard time. I have a hard time watching it because I'm like, man, because obviously backstage you know how much some of these people get paid, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, you did
But
that
Jordan,
for.
Yeah. Jordan's come along. Jordan Oliver's come a long way. We know that in the business. Which is really he come a long way. And Atticus is like the new future of deathmatch wrestling, and which he's proven that he's doing.
And now that Cardona's retired from deathmatch, so they're looking for that new blood.
The king of deathmatch
the
wrestling.
king.
ECW original.
Yeah,
ECW original.
He is the greatest person on the planet.
Our favorite deathmatch wrestlers are Cardona and David Arquette.
Yeah.
I was actually just talking to my haircutter about David Arquette earlier. I was telling him about the time that that he did that stunt, just to get publicity.
Or Nick Gage almost cut his head off.
Yeah.
Where does he rank on your list of? He's got to be like your John Cena, right? He's the deathmatch John Cena.
Nick Gage, yeah.
Nick Gage is the legend. He's just one the icon. Just always will always be one of those guys.
Yeah,
but,
he's a nut, man.
But getting back,
I think isn't he not the one that had the death match with Mox and he took the jigsaw to Mox's forehead?
Yeah,
I think so. I believe, yeah.
Yeah, if someone took something to the forehead, they're probably taking it by Nick Gage.
There is a great portion of Mox's book that's about the Tournament of Death where Nick Gage died for like 6 minutes and Mox had to run in and save the day and jump into the finals against Thumbtack Jack.
Yeah,
it's one of the best parts of that book.
Who said it was the best wrestling book ever written? Was
it's not.
Didn't Daniel Bryan say it was like his favorite book?
I don't think so.
I think Mick Foley gave it big props. I know.
Yeah,
yes,
it was
Mick
good.
Really,
Yeah, you can buy the actual book now.
Yeah,
it was good. It is not the best wrestling book ever.
I think the reason people said it was their favorite, it was the best. The reason that this person said it was the best the wrestling book made is because it was just so authentic and so real.
It's him.
It's very good. The best wrestling book I've written is Still Have a Nice Day.
Yeah.
To this day, it's Still Have a Nice Day. Brett's book is very good too.
Yeah.
Moxley, but his career, and I just looked on Facebook just before, and I saw a post that IWA Mid South is closing its doors again.
Oh wow.
Because there was Mid South and Deep South. Deep South was closed, right?
Deep South was the developmental territory.
Yeah, wasn't there IWA
Deep
South too?
Well, we know that Ian always had a problem with the money and the finances.
Yeah.
But his son, JC runs that Train Wreck Wrestling, Train Wreck Wrestling or something, that deathmatch wrestling. Yeah, that's odd though. I'm wondering if he'll throw something together with him now. Let him just take that because that's popular.
IWA was like they would have all these big.
They really
and you have like 10 people in the crowd. Like, what's going on? Like you got Samoa Joe versus CM Punk, and it's like, and you have 10 people in the crowd. What? I didn't get it.
Yeah. That's what it baffles me. A lot of wrestling promotions, you're like, if they don't have a big name on the card, no one shows up. It's like, man, you're still missing out on a good show. Like,
oh, totally. Yeah,
but this one they had names, no one was showing up.
I mean, were they names at the time, or were they still up and coming?
Yeah, they were still. Well, they weren't huge at the time, but I mean, like they would have people that were big in Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
and on the IWA show, and it's like, well, Ring of Honor's doing real good, but IWA's not.
Yeah.
in Kingston.
Might be the
Kingston,
market.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you had Kingston all the time, and just all the local, Spider and Iwep.
Yeah, you had some big indie names.
Uh-huh.
Just like, well, that's like when LCW was running, I was at, they would get one like guy from Impact and they draw like 800 people. And then Impact would have pay per view and they'd get barely 500. Like, well, what's going on there?
Yeah, because people actually don't tune in to Impact,
Yeah.
but if an Impact guy goes to any show, it's like it's like
Yeah,
it's like
well,
actually a
it's a
giant
banner
shout-out.
thing, yeah.
Yeah,
But I did go, and I did do a couple of trips, and I did travel to the IWA Mid South shows for a couple of deathmatch tournaments.
Oh wow!
In like 2016, 2017.
Now going to a promotion that predominantly pushes deathmatch wrestling, versus I guess you would say a traditional wrestling venue. What is the difference in the crowd of the people who buy a ticket?
You just got to be I don't know. It's just you gotta be yourself. You gotta enjoy the shock, the fear, the blood. You gotta just get that. Okay, what's gonna happen next? Who's gonna get hit with a steel chair? Who's gonna get cut open by a piece of barbed wire? Like. Yeah.
I always watch those shows and like someone's bleeding profusely and then like they go out and start wrestling in the crowd and people are just like tapping them on the back and I'm like,
yes,
just don't do that to Abdul the Butcher.
I would run. Like if you came near me covered in blood, I'm not touching you.
Yeah, because you don't know.
No.
Guy.
No, man.
And deathmatch wrestlers like licking their backs, like the fans are.
The worst part is you think how many people blew in that ring that night.
Yeah.
And then when somebody told me one time that I forget what it was.
It's pro wrestling. Everyone's tested it.
Yeah, well, something could live on a mat for up to 3 months.
Oh no shit!
Oh yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Really?
That's high school wrestling mats were like that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
That's when we were over in there. I always wore pants because you didn't know what you were.
High
gonna
school
catch from
wrestlers
them.
and people who do like jujitsu
Yeah.
and BJJ, they get ringworm all the
All the
time.
time.
They usually
Mm.
clean the mats with Clorox.
Yes.
'Cause I was at
They should, but
it was like an MMA training and wrestling with a show there. Like then everyone when they're done training, they just scrub the mats and clean them all with Clorox. Like wow.
Yeah, so you don't get bacterial infections.
Yeah. Just think the CZW ring, and then we were training. That's one time I was like, oh boy.
Man.
If you walk in
boy.
somewhere, like if you walk into if it's a venue where a ring is always set up, or like a training school, you walk in, or like a gym, and it smells like a bounce house, like where it has that foot disgusting smell.
Oh,
You're like,
God.
you're gonna die if you get on that mat. But we've been in training schools before, like with the podcast, and you walk in and it smells like a hospital. Where you're like, oh, this place is they're clean. Like you know what I mean? Like you can definitely tell the differences. But yeah, that's
Let me ask you this, Andy. You probably been around the smell long, being on the mat and all. You probably what's the worst one? There's probably so many that you could say. Like
Yeah, I mean, there's some that you could tell the ring's just dirty because they don't clean it. Like, you should shampoo it with the actual thing, but how many people do that? Not many.
It takes time.
I can't remember one that sticks out more than that, but there's ones that are like, oh, there's blood on that still.
Yeah.
And that's from a couple months ago. Oh, let's fucking clean it.
Yeah.
We
like the character.
Take the power washer. Come on.
Yeah.
Guys.
You have to buy a new mat.
You can barely get people to set up and tear down a ring. now you have someone to clean the mat.
If you were the owner of the ring.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's been some bad. That CZW one then there was blood in it, and it's like, oh, how long has that been there? Oh, their show was 3 weeks ago. Okay,
you're taking a bump on your like, I'm going to get tested.
Yeah, that's why they always patch up the ring.
Yeah, put your hand down and blood stain. Oh.
They always hide the blood stains with their patches. From combat.
Yeah. We were at an outbreak show one time and somebody bled and they kept going and he took his tape off and it was soaked in blood. And I don't know why he did it, but he threw it into the crowd.
Who would want that? Like,
no.
Even the most
diehard
fan of like bands would want that.
It hit a child. Like,
my God, no.
but yet,
him and his dad are like, what the?
But yet, now you see on the internet wrestlers selling their ring-worn, blood-stained clothing. I would not want to.
Well, that's like in hockey too. When you buy a jersey off their back at like a local, like a double A,
it's still wet.
It's still sweaty. Yeah. It smells. It stinks. It's because I had a girlfriend who done it, and it just.
Nikolai and Kevin bought a jersey off 2 Reading Royal players and they put in the car. I'm like,
and then the worst thing is, to be not be named, but she would not wash it because it came from him.
It had his funk
and
the essence.
It maybe
wasn't essence on it.
It maybe wasn't clean when he started that game.
Yeah. Well, here's a sorry we're derailing you a little
No,
bit here, but
this is awesome. Yeah, we're
what have you ever wrestled? You don't have to say names, but have you ever wrestled somebody and after the match like,
Yes.
dude, wash your fucking gear?
Yeah. If I had to tell you, it's bad.
Did you wrestle Vader?
Yeah, I did wrestle Vader, and then it's like,
Did you say something after a match like?
yeah,
Because you're very blunt. You're not afraid.
yeah, I hate that because that, like, if you want
And
to
what
not
did they
take,
say back to you when you're that blunt
oh
with
yeah,
them?
yeah, I gotta fucking wash it. It's
some
it's
guys
disrespectful, not just to like the person you're wrestling, but like the ref and the ring.
Yeah.
Like, and you're just stinking there, and like, and then in your locker room, you smell like old gym bag.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's
I have no time for that shit.
This is so long ago. I used to listen to a wrestling podcast where they interviewed Paul London. And it was right after he won the Super 8. So it's probably like 2004, somewhere around there, 2003. And he talked about training with the guy who was Joe Millionaire. They're just bringing it back now, I think. But Joe Millionaire was this old reality show where they said this guy was worth all this money, but he really wasn't. He was like a construction worker, made like 18 grand a year or something like that. And he got the guy who was Joe Millionaire, used to be a wrestler. He trained for a little bit. He trained with Paul London. I think wrestled with Paul London. And he would always complain about Paul London's gear smelling bad. He's like, it smells like Febreze. I just Febreze it all the time.
Oh,
No, that doesn't cover everything.
there's some
Wash
there's
it,
some people
goddammit.
who
That
take
sounds
pride.
like a Jimmy Lloyd. That sounds like a
Yeah.
Jimmy Lloyd. He has the bad BO. Yeah, Jimmy
Oh,
Lloyd.
yeah, it's like you
Oh.
gotta take a shower before you wrestle.
Yeah.
You want to not take a shower the rest of the week? That's
Oh,
fine.
there's some
Do
people.
what- do
There's some
whatever you
people who
want.
show up to the show.
and stink, and you're like, come on,
Yeah.
have
You
some
give them
respect.
that brother handshake hug. You're like, oh.
If I was the booker, I'd be like, you can't come back because you
No,
fucking stink.
Imagine being on a car ride with them. Oh God.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I'd have to say something.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like it's so wrong. Like,
Yeah, but going back to that the show where the kid got hit with if that was a deathmatch show, they would have like held that up and like
throw it around.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really funny when I asked that. The reason I asked that is at deathmatch shows that the crowds are way vastly different. Like
They're bloodthirsty, you know.
Oh, my
They
goodness.
want to see blood and
Guts.
guts.
Bob,
Blood,
who
guts, and
Bob
guts.
sent me from By Universe podcast sent me something he found on Reddit, where it was like a guy took like a kryptonite crunch or whatever off
Off
a
the
garage through like 3 tables.
Joey Janela. That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was
Mhm.
Zandig and Joey Janela.
And I was like, he probably got like $50 for that.
Yeah.
They got 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he
Yeah,
break his
stand-
back then too? The guy, who was it? What's the other guy's name? But I remember seeing Joey.
Yeah, Zandig was in some.
I was standing right there. I was there.
Really?
Right
Wow.
In the crowd.
Were you?
How about
I
that?
was
Yeah, because that was on the Jersey Shore somewhere.
Yeah, well-
yeah, that was it. Howell. Yeah.
They
Howell,
would have
New
all
Jersey.
the death matches then once they got kicked out of Philly in
Mhm.
the farm. What was it? What's his name?
DJ Hyde's
Yeah,
house.
DJ
right?
Hyde, yeah.
His parents'
Farm.
house.
Yeah.
in Delaware.
It's insane. You can literally run a promotion in Philly, and if someone so much as bleeds, the shut shut it
Yeah,
down.
well, that's
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
And then
State.
across the river, where it's
Mhm.
like the strongest COVID restrictions at the time.
bleed all you want.
Like
Mhm.
you couldn't go to a brewery or restaurant without
Yes.
a mask, and if your cousin's best friend's sister smelled somebody with
Mhm.
COVID,
Yeah.
you couldn't come in. And then, but the
No.
wrestling scene is just like, dude, no holds barred. Do what you want.
They have no.
Yeah,
athletic
yes,
commission.
It's not
exactly.
a commission state, yeah.
That's what they do a lot of now. We noticed that no holds barred's real popular. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is the craziest thing you've seen live at a death match?
Probably seen besides the Joey Janela spot falling off onto the truck. Probably seen at Combat Zone Wrestling when John. Holy shit! I could go back. There's so many moments. Even Tremont. Probably wouldn't. I don't know. man.
Were you at Tremont's explosion?
No,
were you
the
at
last
that?
one. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, with
No.
Anita.
Whew.
No. I was at the first one.
Wow.
The very
Yeah.
first. The faulty one. Yeah.
He just like a couple weeks ago, I think, just got out of the
He
hospital.
was in the
Yeah.
hospital for a week.
Yeah.
He's in there for a few
Yeah.
weeks, yeah.
Yeah, burn treatments.
Mm.
That's
But
scary.
if I had to say, maybe Ricky Shane Page versus Matt Tremont or somebody. Oh no, AR Fox versus Ricky Shane Page in the cage
Yeah.
had to be
Mm.
one of those matches that really, Cage of Death.
Yeah, I don't know if this
Last-
goes against his gimmick or anything. So I don't watch a lot of death matches, but like
Mm.
I didn't going into that promotion, like for the Can't Believe Frog stuff, I didn't know much about Tremont.
Right.
And they're like, oh, that's the guy who runs it. And I was like, oh, dude's fucking the sweetest guy ever.
He
Like,
is.
he's so he's like the nicest human being. Like he was so cool to talk to, so accommodating. And they're like, and then we watched the Dark Side of the Ring, and I'm like, he's wrestling him.
Yep.
And I was like,
Mhm.
and then I heard about the match. I was like, I don't know if I go like. That's where I have a hard time with deathmatch wrestling. Is if I make a friendship or I know you, I'm like, oh my god, don't do this to yourself. Like, and then I heard he got hurt. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can go back and watch. I seen that spot. That was enough for me.
He's fine. He's okay now. He wrestled it. He's already wrestled again. He wrestled Ricky Shane Page a few weeks later.
Yeah, which is like that. I think that's where I have I have a hard time watching hardcore matches sometimes with people I know. I'm like, oh please, God, don't do like Leapfrog. Where what's his name did the fucking Into the Grave.
The Spanish Fly.
CC Boost and Edith Surreal. Every time they're about to wrestle, I get terrified. Like they're both willing to do the craziest. Like Max,
Edith is a little more. I think she's a little more kind of level about it, but
conservative about it.
I don't know, man.
Like that match with Masha. Masha was the one doing all the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Masha is nuts. She is a nuts competitor. I've seen a lot of her just on Beyond and just other places. It's like, wow, she's nuts.
She's gonna kill
crazy.
the game. She's getting seen. She's so talented, but she's nuts. Like that's not that. She's as crazy backstage as she is.
Bump off the apron into freshly packed hard snow is insane.
It was freshly packed hard snow that wasn't touched, but also it like rained twice.
Yeah, it was ice.
So it had a coating of ice.
Yeah, it was an ice block.
Yeah,
she got powerbombed off the apron onto it, and it didn't move. It was like the canvas.
I can imagine.
It never even caved.
I can imagine because I've felt I used to ski a lot, so I used to go down a double black diamond up at Montage, and I duffed it, and I hit this packed snow. It ripped my whole side of my face up real good.
Yeah,
it did not move.
And then she took a razor's edge power bomb from the inside of the ring to the outside, onto that same snow on a table.
It is not forgiving.
And then the roof at Camp Leapfrog is very steep. And she was on that roof and like just kind of slid down the roof and then did a splash.
Yeah.
Insane.
That
was a great match.
That
was a lot of fun.
Probably next week's the last.
Oh yeah, we got to do the awards, right?
We'll do awards.
We have two shows. Because the next show is 2 days before Christmas, and then the show after that is 2 days before New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so we'll do our end of the year.
The third annual TTs.
Yeah, the TTs. The TT. Did we just call them the TTs or TTPs?
We called them the TTs.
The TTs. Yeah.
But Anthony, go back to talking about how I got into deathmatch wrestling and how we started it. I'd go watch FMW tapes. I'd go watch the YouTube. I'd find all that stuff. Do the basic. We don't know. What's going on with this shit. After watching like Bruiser Brody and Mick Foley, come on, like that's Funk, Terry Funk, and just the guys who created Jude Kasai, Mr. Danger,
So every now and then we get people who try to troll us on Twitch, but I lean into it. I think it's hilarious. So we're gonna answer this question together. Dave it says, I got a standard question for y'all.
By hitting, it looks like snow, as an informer.
Yeah, and the question is, I got into my first relationship, and do I fart in front of my girlfriend?
Do I fart first or my girlfriend? That's worded wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, I worded it right for him because
no. Read it as it's written.
All right. Do I fart first or my girlfriend? Oh, okay. So do you fart first? Or you wait for your girlfriend to fart? I guess is what they're trying to ask.
I'm reading it as it says, and I say my girlfriend.
I just learned about my friend just taught me about that reverse Google. You can find out who the hell it is.
Oh, really?
Really? Wow.
So we just heard a story from someone I'm wearing their T-shirt of right now. Anthony Green.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Mr. Greedy.
He told us backstage he was going to wrestle Too Cold Scorpio.
Okay.
And
I don't know if this is this like a public consumption story? Do you think?
It's just like a but Scorpio. He's known for laying it in, and Scorpio pretty much said like, hey, when I go out there, like fucking hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I hit you and you don't hit me back. We're gonna you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put him in. So Anthony said, I one-upped him. First shot of the match, I hit him first. So your answer to your question, Hidden, is you fart first.
That's right.
You fucking set the tone.
Assert dominance.
Yeah, assert your dominance.
And here's the thing: if she doesn't laugh, fucking leave.
Yeah, I almost broke Heidi's nose our first date.
With a fart?
Yeah.
No.
Wait a minute. But could that be an it? It could be an it. Think about it. Could be a he, she.
Listen, you fart in front of your significant other.
There. We'll keep it gender neutral that way.
Yeah. So Heidi, I told Heidi to reach underneath the car seat to grab a remote control that didn't exist, and when she leaned, I slammed my brakes on.
I think I heard this story today. Yeah.
And she almost hit her head on the dashboard.
That was kind of
terrible.
a move.
And she leaned up.
But she was like,
yeah, and she
died. Next break, and you're like,
I would have had to dump bury her body that night. But she got up and she laughed at me. Like she's like, wow, like our first time ever. And I'm like,
yeah.
All right, I think you're gonna stick around a while. You're gonna understand my humor. Yeah. So start your dominance, Hidden. You fart first. All right, let's go back to wrestling. So, so yeah, you're into the deathmatch scene podcast. How many? Who were some of your favorite guests you had on? You got to interview.
I have to say, geez, actually, man, there's so many guys I could go through. I'll have to bring. I would have to say,
what one stands out for you? Like your favorite?
Dr. D. David Schultz.
Wow,
That's cool. You got
Yes.
him.
Did you
That's
learn
a good
anything about him having a conversation that you didn't know before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because also he wrestled in my hometown, and I got to see him wrestle,
Oh wow.
which was wild.
Is that
At
how you set
hockey.
up the interview? Was you went and seen him live and then talked to him, or
No.
was it no?
I jumped, just jumped through. No, I had a friend. I had an author friend who I contacted. I guess got a hold of him. But my favorite also is one of my favorite interviews had to be the creator of all the WWE themes of all time. His name is JJ McGuire. JJ McGuire.
Oh, he was Jimmy Hart's partner.
Yeah.
Yes, I could get you contact with him. Oh, guys, you would have fun with him.
Did he help create the greatest wrestling song of all
Yes,
time?
he did.
Sexy Boys?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
All
No.
American
No.
Boys, the greatest
All
wrestling
American-
team of all time.
Demolition. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did all of
That ranks up
Superfly.
there.
I'll hit you up with him.
Actually,
Oh,
yes,
such-
he would have done Michael's theme too, because that was Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart made Shawn Michaels song. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll break him out for you one day, Anthony. I'll hit you up.
We're
set that up.
actually gonna meet Jimmy for the second time
Oh man,
in a couple months. We're gonna see him again at
Jeez.
PPW
Well, next month.
next month.
Yeah, Pocono. What's
Yeah.
it called? The Pocono
Slam Fest.
Slam Fest.
Slam
yeah.
Or is that
Fest, yeah.
February? Sorry.
It's
No,
January
that's
15th.
January.
Okay.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Hart, Maven, Alpha Jr., Kurt Angle, Maria Kanellis, and Mike Bennett.
I like how Kurt Angle was down the list.
I just kind
He's
of
front and center on the picture.
Also,
Others,
visually going through this.
Maven.
Since then,
right,
since
but
then
he's
also
down
announced-
Tony's list.
You also have
Yeah,
Mike. Shout out to
Bronx,
Mike.
yeah.
Shout out
Oh,
to
yeah.
Mike. Shout out
And
to Mike.
D'Lo Brown, did we not say him?
Shout out
either?
to Mike
D'Lo.
Bennett. Mike Bennett for killing it at the last final battle. That was a very good match he had.
Oh, who did you
No.
wrestle? I didn't see
It
it.
was OGK against the Briscoes.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
It
Yeah,
was Bennett and Taven against
really
the
good.
Briscoes.
He's
Yeah, it
good,
was a
man,
good
but I
match.
think a lot of people see his WWE run and think he's kind of a joke. But
Yeah,
he's
well,
actually very talented.
Well, if you would know anything, if you were watching him in even Impact before that, like he's
Mhm.
pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, WWE was a joke. Yeah,
Mm.
It's-
what wasn't his fault.
No, not at all. No, not his fault at all. Awesome. So you have your two favorite guests in there. What are some things you
But-
have planned for the?
But my favorite guest
Oh.
of deathmatch wrestling had to be the Madman Pondo. Madman Pondo.
He was just at the RWF show. That was-
Really?
Yeah.
As
I
well.
don't know much about him though.
What are some future plans for the podcast, or what do you want to accomplish
Yeah,
going into the new year?
Oh man, there's so many things. I'm just gonna be taking the break after this week, for New Year's, because I'll be at the Game Changer show, of course, in Atlantic City coming up for New Year's. So big show. They're gonna kill it, but before that, they're gonna kill it. I'm not gonna be there. I wish I was. We were talking about that, Anthony.
Yeah.
The big show they're doing at the Hammerstein.
Yeah, that's
You know?
awesome.
But I'm just gonna keep on getting guests and just collab and try to do some cool stuff. You know?
Do you have any guests that you want to get? Maybe you haven't locked them down yet, but I'm all about speaking things into existence. Who are some go getters you want to get this year? Some ones you want to reach out to, or your bucket list interviews?
Probably. Well, I just got in contact with him, and he's a former Jersey All-Pro wrestler, and he's been seen on the Texas side of wrestling. Deranged, good old Deranged.
Okay.
I remember, yeah. I like Jersey All Pro.
From Special K, right? From the
Yes.
early,
Yeah. He's in Texas now doing loco wrestling. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
Nice.
really cool promotion. Yeah, shout out to them.
Any other
yeah.
names?
Probably some females. I don't know. Yeah, just a couple. Just
Mickey Knuckles. I don't know. I'm friends with her on
I,
Facebook.
yeah, she's pretty cool. I don't know. It's a couple other guys. I'm just gonna work on some guests. I don't know.
Who's
I'll figure
who's
it out.
the girl that did deathmatch stuff a few times, but then she got hurt real bad and she was at Outbreak? Early Outbreak shows. This is before we even had Brian on. Like she had like multicolored hair and she did a spot. Because remember
Rebecca Payne?
maybe.
Mm.
If Vox is listening later, but if Vox is gonna be in his car listening, he's like yelling her name.
Maybe that's the only one. I think maybe
Because
she was
Outbreak
there.
used to have like
'Cause
one
she always had
deathmatch
like
per
purple or
show.
blue hair or green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was hurt real bad. She had I think the night that Sandman was there is the night where she announced that she's going to be stepping away for a while.
I think that was her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was her.
Her and
She's big into it. She loves it. I'm like,
yeah,
she's like, when we have a death match, I go, never.
Yeah, you gonna have that on your own. Yeah,
And,
then
you know, get some tag teams as well, and you know, just other wrestlers.
That's one thing I haven't. Like, it's really in Japan, a tag team death match. That's you don't see that too much in the States. I'm sure there's somewhere. I'm not an aficionado, but no, in Japan there was and that one, the classic tape with Mick Foley and Cactus Jack. There's one tag team death match in there.
I had a tape that was just one of those RF video compilations of like Japanese death match. This was when he had a kiosk in the old Franklin Mills Mall in Philly, and it was like just Japanese hardcore wrestling volume 1.
Yeah, just
and
generic.
Yeah,
because you could put all the different promotions together. No one's gonna know.
Yeah, nobody
knows. No one's gonna sue you.
I want to see a tag team barbed wire rope match.
Okay, I'm sure there probably has one happen.
Just
FMW, I'm
just
sure.
to watch them get in and out of the ring would be pretty interesting.
What about the
slide under the bottom?
You're like,
what about the anal explosion death match? Do you want to watch that one?
An anal explosion death match?
No.
Did that really happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Explain.
It was Hayabusa, the second Hayabusa, against the H, who was the original Hayabusa, and the loser of the match had to have a firecracker set off in their bum.
So they were doing this before Jackass.
This is around the same time as Jackass.
Probably what 97?
7, yeah.
8?
So
that was before Jackass. Then,
that's
yeah.
how that predates Jackass.
Yeah, the H loses, and they handcuff him to the top of the post,
Maybe that's where
and they
got it from.
pull his pants down. He's wearing they don't stick it like way up there, but they stick a
crack it.
They stick a firecracker in the cheeks, yeah, and then they set it off.
Yeah,
The anal explosion death match.
there it is.
Classic for the vault.
There's a lot of good stuff at FMW though. Say.
I think if I ever had the opportunity to book a death match, that's my stipulation. The anal explosion death match, and then I'm gonna do a bottle rocket because I want the crowd involved because you never know where it's gonna go. You know
They
what I mean?
actually, I'll never forget. Actually, speaking with Mondo, Madman Pondo, he actually did a match in like they had a house set up on stage. And it was like a house wrestling match, like throwing through the doors, like getting whacked by fish, the sink, and it was crazy.
They've done bathhouse death matches where it's in a
Yes.
Japanese bathhouse.
Yeah.
That was a famous one.
Yeah.
So they wrestled on instead of in your house.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
the much maligned Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt House of Horrors match,
Ooh.
like that.
That was a spooky match.
Yeah.
They had maggots on the ring.
No, not that one. No, the one in the actual house. Remember that one?
Didn't they travel from the house
No.
to the ring?
No, you're thinking of the match at WrestleMania. This was like right after that.
Oh.
It
Yeah,
was
this
just a
was-
match in a house.
Yeah, it was like cinematic.
Yeah, I do remember. I thought for some reason they left the.
No, that one was only in the house.
And then it came out, you can buy that house. It's for sale.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt burned to death.
Yeah, he died. He's dead now.
Never came back.
That's why I always love when they have like Randy Orton like doing comedy or throwing out. Remember he killed a guy a year ago?
Yeah.
He literally killed a guy.
He set him on fire in
Yeah.
front of all of our eyes, and now he's bro. But a cool mustache.
Randy. Actually, I saw him at ECW's One Night Stand too. I can't remember
yeah.
that. I forgot about that.
I just listened to a podcast today with RVD on it on Chris Van Fleet. It's an older one because I'm like back cataloging. And he talks about that show and he's like, it was so crazy. He is like because we didn't know how the crowd was going to react, and he says, and he said one of the best people he ever wrestled. That's one of his favorite matches. He said John's fantastic, and the way he handled the crowd was unbelievable. And he like people getting a John Cena t-shirt, even though they're booing him, that deep down they're like John Cena fans, and then for them
Throwing
to
it back,
throw it back 3 times.
Just made the environment.
He
so
said
much
they
better.
just start losing it. Yeah,
What a night that was. That was awesome to be there. And,
that was the ballroom too, right?
Yep. That was the Hammer.
Yeah. I was there for 6th row.
Wow, that's awesome.
Behind the commentary table while
Nice.
While Joey was getting slapped.
Yeah, it was a good show. A little too much of the WWE guys up in the balcony and doing.
That was the
stuff.
first one night stand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the second one was Edge and Mick Foley, right?
Edge and McFoley against Dreamer and
And
Funk.
Lita.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With Lita. Yeah.
Yeah, Lita and Beulah got involved, and
The first ones where Heyman cut the promo.
yeah, the Triple H doesn't want to work Tuesdays thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the first one
I-
was
to blend together for me.
the first one was just ECW. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
There
there's no WWE.
like
guys.
Jericho was Lionheart and he wrestled Lance Storm, and that was when Lance Storm was retired for a while.
I have to go back and watch that. It sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah,
there was Eddie Guerrero that didn't want to be there.
yeah, and Benoit, I think he
Yeah.
wrestled Benoit. Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka, and they're getting all these they're saying all these horrible things about Mike Awesome on commentary, and then like a year or two later he killed himself.
Oh, That'll do it.
The Dudleys against the Sandman and Dreamer, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah. So when
That was the night that JBL like beat up the Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
oh
And that's and then Stevie gave him the shoot chair shot. Then,
Ooh,
like,
Stevie
Then I
weeks
think-
later.
I thought
then-
Stevie killed him.
Then I think night 2 was when Eugene got in the ring and did his little spiel to the Sandman, you know, with the towel.
There's a character that'll never work ever
Yeah,
again.
Eugene.
He's
oh my
he's
God.
still wrestling.
Yeah,
He's
but-
doing a farewell tour now. He's retiring.
As Eugene.
Yeah, U-Gene.
Oh yeah, when he went, yeah, he was U-G. I don't think he.
No, he still does the Eugene character. Yeah.
really. Wow.
Really?
Doesn't he have his own school or something wrestling?
He did.
He has a,
Yeah.
I seen something on Facebook. I don't
That's
know.
crazy.
It was weird because he was a good wrestler too, and then gets saddled with that gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like here's what you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Like really?
Yeah.
Like yeah, make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, fuck me.
But
right?
you get to do everyone's finishers. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the
exactly.
second one that there was like Orton and Angle. They did the thing with
Mhm.
Jerry Lawler and Taz, even though it wasn't really a match.
Yeah.
They did
Mhm.
RVD and Cena.
You had Tajiri and Super Crazy,
Crazy.
versus FBI.
Yeah, that's right.
Yo, low key, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Low-key?
Is he?
It-
Wow.
no,
He's good. He's an asshole.
Yeah,
It's
he's an
fucking
asshole.
Tajiri. I love Tajiri.
Tajiri,
I
yeah.
always was a Tajiri fan. He was him and my other. We'll talk about second half of this show.
Mikey Whip.
He,
My other favorite Japanese wrestler that I was like always one of my favorites. Like every time he was on TV, I was like, was Taka Michinoku.
Tajiri is one of those guys that he'll do the no English thing on you, and then he speaks English.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He did
No.
it. He did it to my buddy Jack.
No.
Jack saw him at a mall, like no
No
English.
English.
He speaks English.
Yeah, John said this story. He's like, "Hey, you guys want to get Burger King? What the fuck you?"
That's
yeah.
great.
I always liked Tajiri. I always picked his finisher when I made
No,
create a
the buzzsaw
character.
kicks.
The buzzsaw kick.
Do you
yeah.
remember him? He did when they were introducing the light heavyweight title to WWE in like '97, and it was like Taka and Brian Christopher. They one of the guys in that tournament for that title was Tajiri,
Yeah, tights on.
clean shaven, like blue trunks.
Yeah.
And I'm always a fan of someone who does the mist.
Okay.
Love the poison mist. I'm
Yeah.
glad it's coming back in a wrestling.
Yeah, when people do it right, when
I
they don't
just-
miss the person,
I
and then the
just-
person sells.
I just saw this thing where Tajiri did mist in some Japanese show, and he does red mist and then immediately blue
Yeah,
mist.
that's always the best when it's two different colors.
Yeah, and he's not, his hands are nowhere near his mouth, so he's just
Yeah.
got great control over it.
And then in Japan, they do different things.
Yeah,
One blinds you, one paralyzes
yeah. The
Really? Why have I not?
the red mist blinds. I think green mist burns.
you. Yeah, black I think is paralyzed.
Black paralyzes you.
or turns you evil.
And there's purple too.
But that's America.
Well,
Black
yeah,
turns
yeah.
you evil
If it hits you.
if it hits you.
So Julia Hart's gonna be evil now.
No, it didn't hit her.
And Guy Pillman more than anybody. he sided. He poison mist like
Somebody
Jim Carrey
do
and Dumb and
something.
Dumber. He sprayed it off the side.
Oh yeah.
I like people involved in that, but it was not a good segment. We'll get there. We'll get back to it.
Yeah. Sorry, we take side tabs.
You got it. Got it.
Just don't quit on us.
No.
So if what, like you said, more future plans. You said you want to get some more guests. How long are you taking a break for? Like how long are you stepping away?
Just take till New Year's and then come
Okay.
back.
So just
All
2
right.
weeks.
Take,
I know
take-
some people who
take-
take like a whole month off. I'm like, that's scary, man. You got you start getting momentum, and then a month's a lot, especially if you're creating content.
Yeah, you got to keep on getting going, everything up. you
Yeah.
know? But just take that break. We know it, Anthony. You just got to take
Yeah.
a break.
I
Podcasting
don't
is-
know it. I can't stop.
Yeah.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So, where can people find the podcast? Where can people find your social medias?
Yeah, you can find the Deathmatch Russell podcast on Facebook at Deathmatch Russell Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at David NJ32, and on online at deathmatchrussell.com.
And the deathmatchwrestling.com is
And
linked below, so you guys can click on that
Yes.
link and go
And
support his website.
Also, Podcast City Network on Facebook. Just type in Podcast City Network, and on Facebook, and Twitter at podcastcity.net.
Awesome.
And
Well,
and on the web as well.
awesome. All right, well, it's been awesome talking to you.
Mhm.
We're gonna do a commercial read here, and he's gonna read one out for us if he has
Oh,
one on
sure.
deck.
Told me for free.
Sorry, and we'll get into our second half of the show. But man, thank you so much for having me on your podcast, and it was awesome
Absolutely.
for having you on here.
I have a commercial here.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
can
Yeah, he
open
can
the
do one.
commercial.
I can do another
We'll
one.
see
You
you
can
next-
give me a little bit of the details because I don't have the script for the commercial. But how about we talk about Abaddon Tattoo?
All right,
there you
we'll
go.
see you next time, man.
Abaddon lost a
All right.
lot of weight. in Impact or Impact. What I say? AEW.
AEW.
Yeah, she looked pretty good. Lost
Oh, yeah.
I think she lost like 30 or 40 pounds.
I've been following her on
Well, did you ever see her without her makeup?
Yeah,
She's actually really cute.
she's
She's
a
like
hot
really
goth
pretty.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abaddon's like, no.
Go ahead.
Because what I suggested to Tony at PPW is I said, if the this weekend the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Washington football team, Tony should buzz the sides of his head and get tattoos of the Eagles' wings
On the side of your head.
on the side of his head
that won't happen.
because he has no faith in his team.
If I
and
had
that's okay.
my head shaved inside, I would get something there. I don't know what it would. But
He's gonna get
That's gotta
the
hurt
wings
there.
on the Eagles'
Yeah.
helmet. They're gonna be on
I
the
will
side
it'd
of
be
his head.
tender.
I'll get the championship WWE wings on the side.
The
Oh,
Eagle.
God. You know what would hurt the worst would not be your skin, but the buzzing against your skull.
You think?
That would be. I think that would hurt more than actual your skin being pierced.
I don't know.
I
I guess I
don't-
should.
I think-
talk,
I think-
'cause
I
don't
think
have
Because
any.
imagine that
I think it would suck
on
all
her
around.
head. Yeah, like
We
in your
should-
arm.
We should have a segment where we ask Abaddon what not the wrestler, the tattoo
Yeah.
studio. What would hurt the most? Like these far-fetched tattoo ideas. Which one would hurt the most?
Getting
Yeah.
tattooed on your head,
Armpit, I heard.
your armpit,
The rib cage.
your
too, I
genitals.
heard that.
Mhm.
Anything that like is a joint that move.
Oh.
That the joints are usually terrible, like
Ooh.
the back of the knees.
So
the
there's no joints
kneecaps,
up there, so get the wings. Yeah.
and your head is not.
Oh yeah.
Amber has her head tattooed.
Mhm.
The girl one
I
of
was
the
like, more pronouns, pal. I don't know
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Amber is the girl who's on the podcast a few times. She's a big wrestling fan. She's she has her sides of her head shaved, and she
Okay.
has two, I think, roses and stuff going down
Okay.
each side of her head. And
So-
it didn't look like it was a good time.
But
it
the
looks
real
cool.
moral of the story here is that Tony has no faith in his football team. That's what
No.
really matters.
Oh, we're gonna beat.
That's
the
what he's
Eagles.
getting at.
Yeah, because
You're
Brian,
not gonna have a team.
Brian was gonna get
We'll have a
Washington football team.
No, I'm not.
Tattooed on the side.
My team sucks.
He's gonna.
Do they suck as bad as the Flyers do?
And they're getting better.
Hey,
They won
I want
6
to take a
one.
hockey side one. They came on after Impact. Why you fucking say Impact? Came on after Dynamite. Coolest name in the world.
The
Worst
Kraken.
logo.
What's
The
The
Kraken.
fucking name, the Kraken. Their symbol is an S.
It's a Seattle, but it's the Kraken. It's the
No,
Kraken.
a
It's an
Kraken.
S with an
Yeah,
I.
yeah, it's a slight in the middle. There's a slight little bend in the one groove. I
Really?
was like, the fuck. Your name is fucking Kraken.
Yeah, they
Have
actually
a
suck.
symbol, not a fucking S.
yeah?
That could be the Seattle anything. The Seattle teacups.
yeah. Seattle stinks.
Yeah.
What a fucking waste of a name.
That is
They
no,
could be
that is their
Seattle
awesome.
hockey
That,
team.
that is
And
an
then
awesome name.
Their
though.
arena's
I
called like
love
the
that.
Climate Promise Arena to it has like
Yeah.
a weird name.
So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, you're right. They played the Ducks that night, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Ducks! Quack
Ducks.
quack.
Imagine if the Mighty Ducks was just a big A. Oh, what the fuck?
Well, they
A!
got rid of their cool logo.
I know.
They got rid
They
of
should
Disney
never
one,
did
They
that.
got rid of the classic
Mhm.
Mighty
The-
Ducks,
the
yeah.
Disney
Well, yeah,
one.
Disney
Yeah,
sold
they
the
got
team.
their.
Oh well,
their
that's
D,
I
you know.
understand that.
Disney
Yeah.
sold the team so they became the Anaheim Ducks instead of the Mighty.
I would just make a nerd duck mascot.
That's a thing with that's a big thing in hockey. I don't know why they do it. Like they always go to like a letter. They just do like a letter of. That's a big thing in
Mm.
hockey.
The Caps don't usually do that unless a special jersey. The Washington, the
But I mean, there's a
the
lot
outdoor
of teams
classic jerseys
in
where
hockey
the
that do a
W's
layer.
Yeah.
the stars.
Well, the Flyers, it's called the Flying P. That's
Yeah, it's
literally
the
their
Flying
logo's
P.
called.
Yeah.
New Jersey Devils.
Yeah,
and
but
the
the
N-
NJ. yeah.
with the devil, tail and horns.
Could you imagine if Maryland had a hockey team? How obnoxious that logo
The
would
Maryland
be.
hockey team. That's what they
Maryland-
do there.
They did.
They
They
just-
actually
The
did. It
crab
was,
cakes. Maryland crab cakes.
Dude, Maryland,
it was-
Maryland just puts
That little
their flag
bay.
on everything.
that's
Yeah.
like where the Capitals started, though. They had the Maryland hockey team.
Oh, really?
And they kind of formed into the Capitals. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into
Go
some
ahead.
current events in
So
wrestling.
Abaddon tattoo, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
In
Abaddon
Pottsville
tattoo.
and in Pine Grove, and they do.
conveniently located.
Yes, and they
Sterile.
do very, very
I'm
good
just thinking- I'm
tattoos,
thinking
yeah.
of the things I remember.
Professional.
Yes.
You know, I'm doing from my mind here. Friendly. Just call them up. They're on Facebook. Abaddon Tattoo.
Give 'em a
And you can
call.
Say, hey, I want a tattoo. I'm basic, and I want a dream catcher on the
Above.
small of my back.
I lost a bet. I need eagle
And-
wings
and
on my
if,
head.
And if possible, live, laugh, love around that. You can get that there. If you
Yeah.
want that, you know.
and flowers.
Yeah, or if you want the cover to
A
Rust
dolphin.
in Peace by Megadeth, which is really cool on your back, you can get that too.
Or you can get a championship belt tattooed on
yeah,
your
they
face.
got a bunch of different artists. You can see all their art.
I think
Abaddon
Kelly got triggered when you said you can get a dream
I
catcher.
did get
Do you have a
triggered.
Dreamcast on your-
No,
on your
I
tramp
don't
stamp?
No,
have
a
any yet, but I
Dreamcast.
like the Dreamcatcher.
She wanted
Yeah.
to get
How about a dream
A
catcher?
dream
Just like a
catcher.
dream cast. That'd be
That's
great.
cool.
She was gonna get a dream catcher on her lower back.
Right?
No.
With Live,
no,
Laugh,
no
Love?
tramp stamp. No.
And
If I can't see it, I don't want it. Like I actually want to see it.
can I get your bear tattoo?
Oh God, no, he's not.
Can we get
no.
podcast tattoos and we all have to get tramp stamps?
No, God, imagine.
Just
Hey,
I mean,
Batista has one.
yeah,
He has a tramp stamp.
Yeah. You ever
Lance
know?
Archer had one, and they
Yeah.
got to cover it up.
we're all gonna get Batista's tramp stamp.
Yeah, whatever he has one.
We're gonna get
I
it.
have to look into that.
Well, I'll Google it here when we're done. Abaddon Tattoo Studio.
There it
I
is.
gotta go check them out.
Check
All
it
right.
out.
So our topic tonight, well, actually, not before our topic, we'll talk some current events.
Mhm.
I think the two big news is
Yeah.
there's a lot of big stuff going on.
I think the biggest thing going on is Kevin Owens is
No,
staying.
something bigger.
Oh, really?
Well, it's something bigger than that.
Something bigger than that happened this week. The debut of the possible greatest
Yes.
wrestler we're ever going to see
Yes.
in our generation.
It's a new era, the Hook era.
The
Yeah.
Hook era has begun.
Someone needs to tell him shave your chest.
No, keep it.
No, the sparse. No.
Nope.
Either you have a hairy chest or you don't.
I didn't. I
You know
didn't
how when
take
you grow
offense to
shit-
Tell that
that.
to
I didn't
Kimbo
take offense to
Slice.
that, but I took offense to whatever this was going
yeah,
on.
that's kind of like
Hook just
As
doesn't
much-
give a shit.
As much as I like the vibe of Hook, like he just doesn't give a shit as
He doesn't
like
care.
that. But I'm like, what is it?
Wait
Like
a
not it? Is
As
it-
a
what
John
is it
Moxley
doing?
fan, you're gonna shit on Hook's hair.
well, John
I loved
Moxley's hair is he's limited in what he
With
can
his
do.
long hair, it was awful.
No,
Wow.
it wasn't.
I don't think it was
sexy.
bad.
I didn't
was
like it.
good.
I like it
Oh,
better
I
shaved.
liked it.
Well,
I like
Hook,
it better.
Hook
Well, he
is,
had to-
Hook is doing that on purpose. It's just like it's like a flock of seagulls. Thing
Yeah,
going
it's
on.
like the weirdest, longest.
It
flock
makes
of
no sense.
seagulls.
Get used to it
was
because wrestling
horrible.
has changed. We're in the Hook era now.
I seen a funny meme and they took a picture of
Daniel Bryan, you can step down now. We have the new replacement.
Yeah. Best in the world. Hook.
it was Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, and they swapped Hook's head on.
He looks like Tom Holland. Yeah.
He's gonna be in the new Spider-Man. That's the rumor.
Hook?
Hook. Yeah.
No.
He's
It's
gonna
gonna be the red hook instead of the red hand.
he's gonna be the biggest crossover star in wrestling
In
history.
WWE?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He might even show
Is
up.
he already
That- that's
jumping
an-
ship?
That's
What
the next
hell?
bidding war. Forget about
Yeah.
MJF. The next bidding war is gonna be for Hook.
Yeah. All right.
He has taken over CM Punk's spot as the #1 selling
Isn't that-
shirt on
and
Pro
the
Wrestling
shirt-
Tees.
shirt
It's not a good.
sucks.
It's not a
Shirt
good.
sucks.
It's a white shirt and it says Hook.
Unless they did that on purpose. They should have took an old Taz shirt with the same font and just say
Yeah.
Hook with 13.
They're so-
And then on the back, hit the outline of his hair.
That hair. It's just like
He's
as
a
much as
Super
I'm
Saiyan,
trying
it's
to watch
great.
him wrestle, I'm like, what is that hair doing?
he wasn't bad, though. I mean,
No.
Yeah, for
He's
a
a-
guy that's very
he's in
new.
good
yeah.
shape. I don't really get the boxer look, but they said that's what he wants to do. I'm like, okay, but
that's like a
you're
new.
not
That's a new
boxer.
thing,
His
though.
dad
But
went
it,
with the wrestling look, so maybe he's going boxing.
But when you're a
oh,
wrestler,
look at Punk came out in the judo shorts.
yeah,
you know what I'm
it didn't work
surprised?
for Mark Morrow. But
You know what Hook should do? His gimmick should be like a prize fighter, where except like he gets matches that he technically doesn't deserve, but he talks so much shit that these big names want to fight him, and he like cheats his way to wins. Like he should
He should just be Goldberg. He should have beat everybody in 3
yeah,
minutes.
beat everybody, yeah.
like
and
he-
then be exposed.
He
I'm
should be like
shocked.
he should be Poochie from The Simpsons. When he's not around, people go, "Hey, where's Hook?"
Yeah,
I'm shocked that wrestling hasn't adopted that yet. Like what the Paul brothers are doing, like these prize fighters who are getting fights that they shouldn't be getting and making millions. Like
oh,
and
I
that's
mean,
pro wrestling all over it.
you're kind of limited on what you can do. But
No, Hook can go out there and be like, I'm the greatest ever. And Punk's like, you know what? I challenge you. And then he fucking gets a dirty win on CM Punk. He just
Oh.
beats all these people he shouldn't be
They
beating.
did that with David Flair in the
Yeah.
'90s.
It
That
didn't work.
wasn't good.
Yeah.
No. But it's not Hook this time. David Flair, you know.
But
it
the
is
thing
Hook
is,
this
We're
time.
talking
It
great
works
wrestling
when-
kids.
It works
Hook,
when
baby.
it works when people are like, "Well, that guy sucks. He couldn't beat anybody." You see Hooker like he's going to beat everybody,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really work.
But if you really want to get like serious about it, like Taz was super proud of him.
Oh,
like,
yeah, but
he
there
was
was
not
the
being
moment.
serious.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're dead serious.
Oh, okay.
This isn't
Well,
a
yeah.
joke.
Well, I mean, you
think
see your kid wrestle. I mean, yeah, it has to be really
Yeah.
cool for Taz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he was the shits, it would still be cool for him. Look at my kid.
In New York too, like
thought he
that's
was
really
good.
cool. Yeah, he did
Other-
well.
He did well.
Freaking hair, man.
His his finisher is the Red Rum.
Yeah.
Which is
The
murder.
Kata Hajime.
Now, if they're going to do that, are they going to bring in Relic? That's Killer spelled.
Oh
different.
yeah, Relic.
you go.
Is he still alive?
I think
He's a
so.
local killer clown in our area.
No, Relic was
What?
in Relic was in TNA,
yeah,
and every time they would say his name, they would say Relic. That's Killer spelled backwards.
you know.
Every time they
Yeah.
said his name.
No, there's a local horror movie made, and that was the name of their killer clown was Relic.
Oh, okay.
So that the only people who are going to get that are local people.
hmm and
Um,
people that have seen the movie that are local. So that is
So
terribly.
13 people are
pigeonholed.
gonna love that reference. So yeah. So and then the other news, Kevin.
Oh yeah, some
Owens-
guy signed with WWE
Yeah,
because he doesn't want to have to wrestle Hook.
that's literally what it
It's-
was. He didn't resign until after Hook debuted.
Someone tweeted that. It's the only time where people are like, I'll make money, but we're upset. Everyone's upset about a guy making money.
I'm devastated.
Oh, you're set for life, Kevin Owens. Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's what, 2 to 3 million a year.
A
Good
year.
for him. Good for him. Will he have good matches?
The only thing
Yeah.
about this whole story that really bothers me is
Is
this.
that good money in wrestling nowadays
Yes.
for WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
very
not
What is it?
good.
2 to 3 million.
Yeah,
a
that's
year?
very good.
Yeah,
money,
because like Romans probably get like 7 a year.
Yeah,
And some wrestlers get hot dogs and handshakes.
Yeah, some guys are getting like
I'm still on hockey brain, so
yeah.
it's like
they said they
double.
like the average NXT person was only getting like 50 grand a year, which is that's like a
Mhm.
regular job. That's not
Yeah.
that much for being
Yeah,
wrestling.
and back like way back when they would like the indie wrestlers are bringing like Sami Zayn, they would make a lot less than the football players because they knew they had to give the football players more money. Like when Baron Corbin came in, he's used to NFL money, so he was getting more than Sami Zayn was there.
Yeah,
Like at one point, the people in NXT were getting like 30 grand.
yeah, and that's terrible. You can work
That is
McDonald's and make
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting
nothing against
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah,
But I mean,
still.
it's more than you're getting just doing indie bookings.
yeah, but
Some
but
people.
most indie guys have a regular
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And NXT is paying you $30,000, giving you a full facility, a gym. They're not really making you work a full-time job and wrestle. I mean, it's still not a lot of money.
But at NXT, it was a full time job. Like you're training, then they would
Yeah.
do the Largo Loop where you're wrestling 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
It was a full time job.
But I'm saying they don't have to go out and get a shoe job
Yeah.
on top of it. Yeah.
But
And a lot, they would like all like pile together in an
Yeah, they should have been
apartment.
paid a little bit more though, because that's
Yeah.
still
I
not big
100%
peanuts.
agree. Yeah, Kevin Owens resigned. I'm very happy that
Right.
obviously he's getting money for his family, but
It's going to be interesting to see if he wins the title at day one.
Maybe he does, and then in 2 weeks he loses it, and then he spins his wheels for 2 years straight.
don't get me wrong. One of the people I put in the thing, I'm devastated because I don't trust WWE's booking to make him
no one
valuable or use him as a value. Obviously, they see value in him. Here's my question: Do they see value in Kevin Owens, or they just don't want to see Kevin Owens somewhere else?
Both.
Yeah, both, but more so somewhere else.
That's it.
They didn't want the PR of losing another guy to
Yeah,
AEW.
and especially a bigger guy this time, a guy that they didn't release.
Did Kevin Owens' money go higher because Gargano and Daniel Bryan and
Possibly because they have more money to
Gargano
spend.
and Adam
more
Cole
so
left?
Danielson, I think, than Gargano.
Yeah.
More so Danielson and Cole.
But I mean, like even a Cole, like those three names leaving, and then a Kevin Owens on top of
It
it.
frees up money. Yeah.
Does it give him more? Does it say that it'll be like we can throw him a couple more to keep him?
But yeah,
around?
they knew they were going to be in a bidding war, so that drives up his
'Cause
price.
let's say that all four of them they were paying 10 million, which they weren't. Okay, well now you only got one of them. You're not gonna pay one guy 10 million. But
Yeah.
you can pay him more than the million he would get. So
Mhm.
and the where a lot of people are like this, where AEW is the best and WWE sucks, and I hate WWE.
Yeah.
WWE hates AEW. That fan base, regardless, put all that aside, Kevin Owens is getting this money because that competition's over there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If AEW doesn't exist, Kevin Owens
I
is
got
getting.
released him. I said, see ya.
He's
Yep.
released or he gets nothing. So right now his family's set for life, and good for him. He deserves it. You know what I mean? He has had a successful run in WWE. He has held every title except the tag teams.
Yeah.
So he's right there for a grand slam. I'm not a huge fan of his WWE title run because it was legit handed
Universal
to him.
title, yeah.
His Universal,
Yeah.
it was handed to
And then he
him,
lost the gold.
and then he played a chicken shit heel that was afraid to fight. He went from a fighter to someone who didn't want to fight anyone.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I hate that heel booking. It's
That's
my least favorite heel booking is the chicken shit heel booking, especially when you do it to someone who legit his whole thing was I want to fight everyone, and then he goes I don't want to fight anyone.
especially when you have a shirt that says fight.
Fight. Horrible.
So-
And then he gets squashed by Goldberg. Yeah, but
Yeah,
the Jericho stuff was probably my favorite.
Yeah,
Kevin
that was
Owens.
probably
That was fun.
the highlight of his WWE run. That's why I was like, oh, he's going back to AEW. Waited that for when they
And-
first see each other.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Dude,
Like,
that first match with
Nope.
Cena was excellent too.
Mhm.
The Money
yeah,
in the Bank.
yeah,
Everything
yeah.
him and Sami
NXT run
Zayn
was
have
good.
ever done.
Yeah, they went back to NXT for that War Games.
Yeah.
But you know,
So the 2 to 3 million thing that came from Meltzer. He's the one that's reporting that. And then the Owens was on a podcast. He was on a podcast that's done by Pat LaPrade, who's a big journalist in Montreal. And this is a quote from Owens. He said, "I'm just going to say that it still ends on January 31st, but not 2022. I'm still going to be there for several years. The decision was pretty easy because it really was the best thing for my family. When it comes to that, so it's always a pretty easy decision. WWE has been my home for 7 years, so I have a sense of belonging. Basically, I spent most of my career there. When you look at all the wrestling companies I've wrestled in WWE, that's where I've been the longest. That's where I need to be for the next few years. That's how I felt, and that's the decision I made."
Yeah.
So that was his quote on.
but you see, like, listen to that. Does that sound like a happy man?
No.
It doesn't. It sounds like I'm doing this for money.
Yeah. But also, he's apparently like super liked backstage.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah.
He's seen as a locker room
He's like a
leader.
good guy.
He was one of the big guys who made the biggest changes for COVID COVID versus because I
And-
guess it was kind of lax, and he's like, I'm not coming back until you fucking fix
Yeah.
this.
And he took a stand with not going to the Saudi shows because they wouldn't book Sammy.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. But also the way WWE, the way people there think, if they'll do the thing where like, I'm paying this guy a lot of money, I have to use him now.
Yeah.
So that's going to help him get a bigger push.
I hope so.
Either that or they'll be like, why are we paying so much? Look, get rid of him.
Yeah, and if that happens,
Then he
right
goes to
to
AEW.
AEW.
Yeah, he goes to
He gets
AEW,
paid
so-
big money for another 3 months, and he goes right to AEW.
Yeah, but it's like, who's he gonna wrestle that you're interested in WWE?
Man,
Him and Matt Riddle.
the stuff
I don't know.
was,
Does
the
that
stuff
happen?
with him and Roman Reigns was so fucking good.
I don't know.
Like-
I've seen some stuff with the Matt Riddle stuff being a shaman.
Yeah.
Shaman, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
cringe.
A pot shaman.
They just fired their shamans. So you
Yeah.
can't do
I
that.
think the closest WWE had to me in recent times where I was legit invested into a match where I felt like a little kid again, even though I know the fan in me knows who's gonna win, but where I was like, holy shit, they might it was the Kevin Owens Roman stuff. Like there was some moments in those matches where like, are they gonna fucking do this?
I never thought that.
No, I-
Like they did a great job. Like where
nobody's beating Roman anytime.
Yeah.
He's going to be champ.
But
for
I'm
a
saying
while.
the way they sold it was done very,
Yeah.
very well. Like I watched it with Heidi and
Yeah, it wasn't a bad
and she was
feud.
like, holy shit, Kevin's. I'm like, he's not gonna win.
Oh yeah, here's the thing about Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. They're both really, really good at wrestling.
Yeah.
So that they
It was
worked well
it was a great feud, but I was like, man, this is probably the best because he got to the top. Now he's gonna get forced back down,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be that guy again. It's kind of disappointing.
I think he's just gonna be like Dolph Ziggler. He's there.
I
That's
think he's going to be a
what-
little bit higher level than Dolph.
That's why I said with like Ziggler, like he can go anywhere in the world to be a world champion, and he's a glorified jobber tag team
Mhm.
specialist.
He's just happy to get making money. That's what you want. That's what you want. I wouldn't
Is
want
he
that.
still doing comedy on the side?
I don't think so.
I don't think. I haven't heard
No.
nothing.
I don't think he's allowed to do any of that anymore.
Maybe maybe not.
I think they tightened all the restrictions. Like you
Oh.
can't do shit.
Well, I know they did stuff with like Twitch and everything. Like that's everybody's move now. Like Gargano, the
Yeah.
day after he left Twitch channel,
Yep.
said he wants to wrestle Kenny
Oh wow.
because they asked him who he thought the best people in the world were. He's like, I can't pick between, and he said it was
Danielson.
Omega. No,
Oh wow.
Omega and Io Shirai is what he said.
Oh.
Hmm.
I would be like, well, okay. Here's the question again. Just men this time. You're gonna wrestle, not to be sexist.
Well, no, it was who do you
Yeah.
think was the best? Who,
Yeah, but Rio,
yeah, didn't know who
it's
he
very
wanted
good.
to
I'd watch Gargano, Io Shirai
Yeah.
intergender match.
But that will never happen.
Not
What-
WWE.
I'm sure this has happened on the indies somewhere, but I'm surprised that there's no place that does like a mixed tag team title.
Yeah, I thought there would be. I was pushing for that in the ACW because we'd have half the show be like. Girl
I think it
matches,
would-
half guy matches. Why
I
don't we have an
think
intergender?
That would be something
Tag
that would be
title.
really cool for PPW.
Yeah,
Like you have
They need-
Rembrandt and Cosmic when Facade's better, Facade and Danny Moe. You would have well, Johnny's not really there anymore. We could have done Johnny and Christina Marie.
Yeah, Mike Orlando, Ali Rex.
Yeah, they would have that would be a perfect place
Yeah,
for
they
a
could
mixed
put
tag
that,
team title.
Maybe
and
with
you don't have to
somebody.
be, you don't have to be, you don't have
always
to be
get-
dating the person, but like
No.
Yeah, no,
Andy and Adina Steele or
yeah, yeah, totally.
There's always going to be a little bit of stigma there. I hate to say that. No matter where you go, how far you go from it, there's always going to be that little bit of like
I don't think you have it as much in the
abuse
indie
type
scene.
thing underneath it.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
I-
see,
I
I don't
touch
see it in the indie scene.
Well, that's it. Tony didn't want to touch it on AEW. Like
Yeah.
I know Kenny was all for it with him and Rio and what was it,
They teased
Penelope
the floor
Ford
a
and
feud with Nyla. They never went anywhere with it.
yeah, Penelope Ford and her
Maybe
boyfriend.
maybe we'll
Done it.
eventually see it. You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a stretch.
I don't
It's a
think
stretch
I
from
don't- I
I
national
don't
think
think
heels.
we see the women, like, no offense, but beat up on the men as much as they used to, like back in the
Oh,
Attitude
WWE
Era.
still does it all the time.
Well,
You think?
yeah, also,
I haven't seen it. in
anytime a woman
while.
gets involved in a match, she hits the guy, but it's never.
well,
returned.
that is the women not getting hit back is a TV thing.
Yeah.
A lot.
Unless you're Nyla.
Well, yeah, I
Or
mean,
not Nyla.
was-
Naya.
Remember they all beat her
Naya.
up at that Royal Rumble? It was great.
well, that was on pay per view.
Yeah, that's
that was
true.
on pay per view.
That's
true.
And the first place this happened was Spike TV. When Impact was on Spike TV, they had a rule where women cannot be hit by men. You cannot do it. It's our rule. And now I think USA has the same thing. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure TNT has the same thing.
It's a movie.
But yeah, and it's
It
weird
doesn't
that
matter.
it's like
It-
wrestling
yeah.
exists
So
in
so when
other
they
place.
put the Avengers on TV, does Black Widow not allowed to get hit by fucking
Thanos or whatever. Yeah,
Thanos?
Yeah, but
But
wrestling plays by different.
it's
set of
weird because it's like if
Right.
you want equality, then the guy has to be able to hit the girl. Because if not, that's not equal.
Just Selena Vega goes to the top rope and
I
does the Hurricane Rana to a guy every
Yeah.
match. That was her whole thing where she gave
Yeah,
her
yeah.
opponents.
rules. And on the indies, it is way different. Like we
In
all
Indies,
have
everyone's
stuff,
equal.
Yeah, we had something with Can't Believe Frog. Their top baby face was a girl, 21-year-old girl.
Mhm.
Chikara, Kimberly was their champion.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's places.
Um,
You just had Ruby Soho and Alex Shelley just wrestle for Beyond.
Lucha Underground's champion was Sexy Star for a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well,
some
Tessa was the Impact champion
Yeah.
for a minute.
some
Yeah.
of Candice LeRae's best matches on the indie scene were against men, and she'd be bleeding all over the place.
She was in a tag team with canceled Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, World Excuse tag team. They were tag team champions. So it can be done, but I don't know. The major
Just
stage,
not on a major stage.
I don't
right?
know. You know, I
So
mean,
we
it's
also-
happened. Disco Inferno versus what
Jacqueline,
Yeah.
Yeah, back then China was Intercontinental
Yeah.
Champion.
Yeah.
At that point, it was a little more wide open.
I just think it's
That's
just
what I
Jeff
mean,
Jarrett had a
that-
whole gimmick where he was beating up women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman,
The Dudley Boys
Mhm.
when Bubba would powerbomb all the girls. to the
Mae
table.
Young,
Yeah. Kelly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. I just think it's kind of wrestling. The problem is people need to stop looking at wrestling as a sport.
Yeah,
They need to stop
it's
judging-
real in some areas, but not in other areas.
It is entertainment.
Yeah.
Even if you are a pro wrestler and you're pushing it, at the end of the day, you're watching a soap opera. It's scripted. It's a scripted fight scene.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's weird. You know,
But that's why whenever they have mixed tag matches,
they would always get out when you tag.
like
Yeah,
IWTV
that
100.
annoyed me. Like you said, like if I'm more of that too. If I'm gonna hit you, you should hit me
Mhm.
too, because it should be equal.
Yeah, especially if you agree to the match.
Right.
then
I'll tell you what.
It's not like you're being forced.
Right.
I've been spoiled this year with Chikara style,
Chikara.
the Chikara style Can't Believe Frog tag team matches. I love
You mean Lucha
tags.
Rules?
I love Lucha Rules.
Oh, that goes way back. Yeah.
I love it. I love
Like
the-
not having the tag.
I
in it
love
now.
the rollout where you can it made another dynamic to the match where it's like I'm hurt, roll out, and then my partner can jump right in. Like I love
like
that
that
style.
too.
I
But
think more places should adopt that.
IWTV 100 is a perfect example of that, where you had Trisha Dora and Lee Moriarty against Statlander and Orange Cassidy,
Mhm.
and I remember we were watching backstage, and or no, you were I think it wasn't I wasn't talking to you, it was me and
Yeah, I was dying at that point.
yeah, it was me and actually Kaya McKenna was backstage watching with us, and we were like, oh yeah, they're not, because they had a thing where like it was when the men wrestled the men, the women wrestled the women, and AEW probably made them.
Yeah, and Chris Statlander won the IWTV title
Yeah,
off
she-
a man.
Yeah, and lost it to a man, the same
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I think she won and lost it from Cassidy.
Yeah.
But no, like I was like, oh, okay, that's probably an AEW thing. She's like, yeah.
Yeah. Any other news?
I think they've-
Shibata is gonna wrestle.
Coming back.
Wrestle
Yeah, that's a
Kingdom.
big one.
Yeah,
Katsuyori Shibata is back,
you would like him because he wrestles like Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Or many
Really?
people would say Kyle O'Reilly wrestles like Shibata.
and like of all the like people in Japan that are like those serious wrestlers, his nickname was the Wrestler.
Yeah,
Like he is as legit and
I think he
serious
did
as it
some
gets.
MMA.
He did.
Yeah. So he had a very MMA inspired gimmick, a lot of kicks and punches and chokeholds and stuff. He's very good, and
Yeah.
he headbutted Okada, like what was it, 2018?
18, something like that.
17?
During the big ring.
Yeah, he headbutted him like so bad that he got a concussion, got real fucked up. He started bleeding in the match from it,
Ooh.
and then he still wrestled, obviously. So he was out for several years.
It looked
Yeah.
like it was over for him.
Yeah, yeah. People thought. I mean, he was in the hospital. I think he
For
he
months.
died. Yeah,
He almost
died.
died.
Yeah.
Right, like hemorrhaging and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I guess when the blood from went
Fuck.
in his head. So don't give everyone a shoot headbutt.
Yeah. The only reason I'm bringing up this show and not the rest of the weekly stuff coming up because I feel like it's a pay-per-view style show. Winter is coming. Is tech like even pro wrestling
It's
cards
like a
had a-
Clash of the Champions
Yeah.
for the old school fans.
And now
Um,
Battle of the Belts is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
January 8th is the first one. The TNT special. Like it's going to be like 4 Saturdays a year.
and then the end of this year will be the start of TBS.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Dynamite on TBS.
Dynamite.
Yes.
on TV. January 5th. It's actually going to be in Newark.
Mm,
The first
And then no more TNT.
only for Rampage.
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 And those specials are going to be on
Yeah.
TNT. But
Dynamite will now be a TBS show.
Which
because-
most people have both.
when like Wednesday's a big night for hockey and TNT has hockey now, and when the NBA playoffs start, they're going to be on TNT. TBS, the only sports promotions you really have to worry about are when they have
Braves.
baseball. Not the Braves anymore. Like
Oh, really? They don't have the Braves?
no,
When did they stop having the Braves?
years ago.
Oh,
When
wow.
Turner sold them, I think. But now they have playoff baseball. They have the 1 year they'll have the National League Championship Series, 1 year they'll have the American League Championship
Okay.
Series,
Hmm.
and the NCAA tournament I think is on TBS and TNT too.
So overall, winter is coming. I guess this is where AEW. I'll be the negative Nancy to start.
How can you be negative about that show?
Yeah.
How?
I feel because when the last winter is coming, we were given what Sting. We were
and-
given Sting.
We were given Sting. We were given the title change.
Yeah, yeah. It's when Kenny won it.
So
Yeah, with the dirty.
I think when people, a big thing with AEW is they've been
The
giving
dirty
us a
Mike
lot
hit.
of shocking stuff. Or,
Yeah.
oh my god, that title change. Oh my god, a new debut. Oh my god, this and that. And then when the show went off, when the lights went out and the show went off the air, everyone was expecting a new face, someone new in AEW. A big
I was a
title
little
change.
bummed that the Briscoes didn't run.
Yeah, I
in
thought the
and stop
Briscoes would
FTR.
come. But I
So-
mean, you know,
Match quality wise, not a bad show. Show was great. Matches were great.
this is and I don't want this to come off as being. If you're disappointed in that, I think fans are disappointed that might be a little bit spoiled.
Absolutely, and
A
that's what I'm saying.
little
I
bit
think
spoiled.
AEW have spoiled people where they think like,
Yeah.
this is a pay-per-view style TV show, and I guess with all these names floating around, Tony has said there is names out there I want, and they are coming.
You can't
Just
have them all
wait.
come in one show.
No.
Yeah, because you have storyline wise, you have to finish out stories, you have to
Yeah.
build up. You can't just have interject a guy and then rewrite your whole story, especially if you're doing long-term booking.
I think they're saving things for that first TBS show because new network, you want to
Mhm.
Yeah, you
come
really
out
want to
guns
hype it up.
blazing.
Keith Lee.
You think so?
Is his
Yeah.
non-compete going to be over by then?
Yeah.
His is 90 though, isn't it? Because he was on the main
Yeah.
roster.
Well, when was he released? Early October, right?
Yeah,
Was he?
I don't remember.
October,
Was
November,
he,
December.
He was released the same time as Cross though, wasn't he?
Oh, was he? No. What?
Yeah, he was that wave,
Wasn't
I
that-
think.
Well, Cross is wrestling.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Cross isn't
he didn't
wrestling
do
yet.
80.
Yeah, but he's about to
Oh, that's
wrestle.
February.
That's
in
February.
Yeah, so his deal would be up.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, maybe Keith Lee's won't. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I don't think by the beginning of January.
Bray's ready.
Yeah, Bray can come in anytime.
We might-
Gargano can come in
Gargano.
anytime if you want to.
We might get really lucky. I
Kyle
don't-
O'Reilly's next
depending
week.
on where I fall on the commentary list that day, I might be commentating another fresh off release match for somebody. I got to call Bobby Fish's first match on the
Mhm.
independent scene, and I got to call Buddy Matthews' first match on the
Oh,
independent
wow.
scene.
Cool.
So I might be getting Killer Crosses too.
Yeah.
Or Crosses, yeah.
Kill Cross. That's
Yeah.
his name. Yeah.
And now
Um,
he's with that group too, the Control the Narrative or whatever they're calling it.
Oh, is
Yeah.
he with them?
He's,
he looks-
it's him,
I know.
the Titan, Adam Scher, Braun, yeah, and EC3.
He looks like a little bit like MJF with his hair growing back.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen him with hair.
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, I think he looks better with longer hair, but he what hair growing back.
Yeah.
But he kind of has like an MJF look a little bit.
Mm.
When the picture first scrolled through Instagram,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, MJF got big. And I was like, oh, that's a cross.
That's the other big thing. This is way down the line. The other report is that Fox, USA, and WWE are all like, MJF was a guy we want to make a run at.
Yeah.
But apparently his contract is not up until like late 2024.
I don't
so
see him
there's
ever
ways to go.
leaving.
No, please no.
If they throw a big bag of money at him and are like,
I also said there's no chance Kevin Owens stays.
yeah. But you know what the wrestling landscape's going to be in 2024.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon maybe won't be in charge of the day-to-day operations. Vince
Yeah.
McMahon might not be alive in
I was just gonna
2024.
say.
Yeah.
So who knows what
I almost
what
said
the future
I
holds.
almost said something really awful right there, and I'm glad I didn't say.
Imagine when people got fired, what they'd say.
Yeah, I don't want to wish.
Imagine what Talia Valkyrie would say.
I don't want to wish death on anybody, but God, it's gonna change a lot. where shows aren't. Did I just listen to a podcast with Eric Bischoff?
Mhm.
And he's like, I came back, and it was the worst thing I ever did.
Did
Yeah.
you see who they say is probably the front runner to take over the company when Vince
Who?
steps down?
Nick Khan.
Nick Khan.
So it'll be two cons on it. This Nick
Khan
Khan.
versus Khan.
I don't think he's like a wrestling person. Though.
He's not.
He's just a money person.
He was a he worked for a sports agency.
But they said Khan's the type of person who comes in, makes a deal, makes a bunch of money, and then leaves and goes to the next one.
He
well,
might-
if he gets the CEO job, he'll stay.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is that he was friends with The Rock growing up.
Really?
Yeah, him and The Rock lived when The Rock lived in Hawaii. Nick Khan was a friend of his, and Nick Khan's sister is the creator of Young Rock.
Oh wow! How about that?
So I don't like what happened to NXT, but with all the
So we should have his sister run the company because she actually made something I want to watch.
even though I don't like what happened with NXT, with all the things that the Triple H did to screw with The Rock back in the day, The Rock's buddy putting the screws with Triple H is just chef's kiss.
Yeah. Hey,
Very true. And Triple H is not in good shape. They said he'll probably he's
He had a heart attack. I don't
Yeah.
think he's gonna be wrestling.
Yeah, but
anytime
I don't
soon.
he's not even
He's
backstage.
okay. Like
he hasn't even been back to backstage.
they showed him he was walking through the new headquarters
I
they're
think he's
building.
all right. I mean, when you get
Yeah.
a heart attack, it's
Well,
Well, one
he's
of their
recovered.
daughters started training. I heard now too.
yeah,
A
but
little bit. She's like 14.
but a lot of people are saying like reports are saying that he's not involved in the NXT. Like
Michaels
he's,
is doing the
what they
day to
say,
day
yeah.
right
yeah,
now.
he's not there. Like you don't see him backstage anymore. Like he's really stepped back.
it's probably a mental blow too.
Yeah,
Like, I took all my
absolutely.
stuff away.
Yeah.
Like, why do I want? to
Took
go
away
back?
all my toys.
Yeah,
Took away all my toys, and they went to my fucking rival company.
yeah.
And I went on TV and said that he's going to buy that pissant company, and that didn't age well.
And
for
then
me at all.
all my stars went there.
Yeah,
So you know what Triple H is now? He has to be the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still want the Jacksonville Jaguars to win a Super Bowl just to see if WWE
Oh,
oh,
they'll
I'll give them
title.
the title.
Hey,
Yeah, it gives it to Tony Khan.
You're gonna be waiting a long time
That's why if
for that.
they're my new favorite. If they ever make a run, I will Jacksonville myself out. Just I want to see if WWE sends them a title.
I
Do you think they would?
Funny.
yeah, I think
But they would have to give it to some not
Yeah.
Tony, but Tony would show up and be like, "I'll take it."
I will-
It's
I
Tony
will-
Khan
And they
holding
drop the
WWE
title. They drop the Jacksonville Jaguar
That would
title.
be
in the
He's
great.
trash.
trash.
I will become a they'll be like my number 2 team, I guess, if they hire a certain coach.
Who do you think's going?
Maybe Dougie P will be the coach of the Jaguars.
Ooh.
I was gonna try to name one football coach, but I can't.
John Madden.
Oh, he was a coach.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
How do you think he got the video?
I thought he was a player.
Lombardi.
Really?
He was
Yeah.
a player and a coach.
He was, yeah, he played. He did,
okay.
but he
Vince-
was known more.
Vince
as a coach.
Lombardi. He has a trophy named after him.
Oh, okay.
No
Don't
idea.
Know. Don't know.
No.
Sounds like a race car driver.
He was.
Was it?
Mike
No.
Ditka. He had an SNL skit about him.
Did he play?
He was a very
played
good
and
coach.
coach.
If you I don't know any players or any coaches that did not play there.
Okay.
I couldn't name one for money involved. I know there's that fat guy that was on the Eagles.
Yeah, that's who
Andy
I
Reid.
keep thinking
Andy
of.
Reid.
Oh, there we go.
Reid,
Yeah.
That's who I kept thinking of too.
Did he
I'm
play
like,
football?
he's
He played
big.
college football.
Okay.
He
And
ate
his
the ball.
Don McNabb was like his boy, and I'm like, what is his name?
One of the
I used
funniest
to curse him all the time
one of
at
the-
work.
one of the funniest pictures ever is they do this thing called punt, pass, and kick. And it's like I think you're 11 or 12 years old when you do it. And
Pat
it's literally
McAfee won one time.
yeah,
as a kid.
You literally kick the football, throw the football, and punt the football, and whoever can throw, kick, and punt the longest wins.
Oh, okay.
Andy Reid was in it, and there's this picture of him, and he's 12 years old, and he's probably 6'2", 250. It looks like a man standing around with little kids.
Who let this man in here?
And he had a mustache and a Hawaiian shirt.
And a wife and 2 kids.
And a wife,
Let's not talk about Andy Reid's kids.
wife, 2 kids with a drug problem.
Well, one of them's dead.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, the one when the last year was the coach of the Eagles.
Is that the kid that had the drug problem?
They both had drug.
Really?
The one kid, Britt, I think is no.
Baker?
No.
The son was the one that was like,
He has 2 sons. His
You're
one
trying to
son,
swing
Yeah.
it back around to wrestling.
I can do it. It's very easy.
his one son was like a strength and conditioning coach for the Eagles, and the last year they did training camp in Lehigh, he OD'd at the training camp.
oh shit. Yeah, I remember he was in the spotlight for a while.
And then the other one is one that was working with the Chiefs and he was driving drunk and killed somebody.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So back to wrestling. We were just talking about PPW. You want to talk about the PPW show this past weekend?
Yeah. Wow. What a fucking fun time.
That was a very fun time.
And this is not a shot to
I
other-
won.
Yes, that's what made it
You
so
won?
fun.
You're-
Yeah.
And I came up with a name. It didn't work with your 4th guy, which wound up being a different guy anyway.
Yeah.
But because you're from this area, you're from the mountains, and you're a team with SPF. So you ever do a 6-man, South Hilly's finest?
South Philly's
Yeah. You got to do the baby powder.
Yeah, I
You did
did.
the big-
I didn't see any of
All
this
right.
match.
Yeah. You have the card up?
Yeah, I have it right here. So your opening match was Bull Hightower's Open Challenge, which was answered by Bison.
Yeah,
And-
who's a deaf wrestler?
Yeah.
Who and like that's crazy.
I will say this. It was very, very fascinating
Mhm.
to watch them set that match up backstage.
Yeah,
Because that's a
not
challenge.
Yeah, it is.
He did really
they
well.
said they did pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
So
good.
that-
It was a good match.
He looks good too. He has
yeah,
a great
he does,
look.
Yeah, he does. That's impressive, man.
Mhm. And he
Because it's so weird. Like, how do you judge the crowd? Because you can't hear. I mean, maybe you feel like Daredevil, not to make fun of the guy. or
and
anything,
he's
but-
still like talk like he's
Yeah, he can
he's still
talk a
very
little, yeah,
vocal.
yeah.
Like he tries to get his point
and
across
he was
verbally.
fucking ragging on people. I'm like, yeah, look at this guy.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's a really personal
Yeah.
guy. I believe he came up with Orlando.
Yeah.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, very, very, very good guy. Very personal at the very out. Saying thank you to us. And
Mhm.
like I can see him being someone you'll see more at PPW.
Yeah.
And he got the win with, I believe, the assist of Isaac Rule, right? I
Isaac
saw
Rule-
one
Isaac-
match. Of
Isaac
Yes.
Rule came out, interfered, possibly setting up a bull high tower. Isaac Rule.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
I don't want to put anybody's business out there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
I
their
don't know
business
if that's
there.
out there or not. So we'll let that
I don't
one go.
think so.
Yeah. But yeah, Isaac Rule interfered, and we got a possible setting up a bull high tower Isaac Rule match. But real quick before we get any further, we've been really fortunate, especially like us being either helping backstage and yeah, it just swallows it. Helping backstage and commentating and meeting
How
people
did that get
backstage.
over there in the first
I have
place?
no idea.
Let's put it there. It was
Oh.
here and I put that. Because I looked.
I don't know why it bothered me so much either. But we got too many toys on the
Nice
table.
train.
My ADD kicked in. Yeah, so we're meeting a lot of people. I will say this, and a lot of people who have come to PPW have been super sweet and very, very nice. But this group that came in was unbelievable.
As
Like,
far as the imports, the names. I
the
should
names
say.
that
names
came
you
in
wanna say.
like I kind of just made my way because we usually hang out in the Zumba room because that's like your post us spot, and I kind of
Yeah.
hang out with you because I really don't see you
Yeah,
much.
the Zumba room is also where the promos are
Yeah,
shot.
they
And-
had it half walled off.
Yeah, and when I go to PPW, my job is usually to assist Tom Mitchell with producing the promos that go on.
And they got another
Only.
backstage guy now.
Yeah, Coach Ileana. Yeah, but basically there was Tom was just like, yeah, I watched the show. I'm like, I'm on every 5 seconds. We need to split it up a little bit.
And the guy did seem like he did really well, so it's exciting to see him on there. But it was nuts. At one point in time, I'm sitting on a chair and I didn't realize where I was and who I was with, and we're talking current like podcast style. Like we're talking Roman Reigns run. We're talking just who's going to AEW. Like we were talking as wrestling fans. And then I look across the room and I'm looking at Brian, and then I just kind of do like a counterclockwise look around the room, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing in here? Like to my right was like, it was like Impact World Champion Moose, PCO, Davey Richards, Jonah, Casey Navarro, Anthony Green, and me and Brian. And I'm just like, this is crazy. But they welcomed us. Like we talk like as if we were normal people.
Imposter syndrome in high gear and very high gear.
It didn't hit me till like 30 minutes into the conversation. I was like, I stopped and I went,
what am I doing here?
Yeah,
it's just people. That's what I
absolutely. Especially like Anthony Green. Just felt like I knew that guy forever after talking for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's such a dude. He is one of my favorite human beings I think I've met.
There's a guy I just don't know much about.
Yeah, he's so I don't as a wrestling wise, I didn't know much, but like after that night, I'm a fan. Jonah, Moose. I'm gonna chat with a lot of podcasters who like book Moose to do podcasts and stuff, and maybe just he's not a podcast person, but behind closed doors and behind like away from fans, Moose is the nicest human being I've ever, like one of the nicest people ever. He's so nice. Like he's a cool dude. Jonah,
so
I love that dude for life. PCO, the coolest human being.
And just because I'm like an old like fan forever, like just Pierre from the Quebecers, right there. Just talking about like whatever
wrestling for 30 years, you know.
Andy goes, so this is like I'm telling you, Kelly, and the audience at the same time. But Andy was like, "Yo, go over," because he has his Headlock Comics T-shirt, like where the Incredible PCO.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Tell me,"
Hulk,
and I was like, "He only has one size. He only has one shirt left or two." And I went over. It's like it's a medium. He goes, "Grab it." I'm like, "I don't have any money." I was like, "Yo, Andy, he's working the merch table there. He wants one of your shirts. Can you put the medium aside for him? He'll buy it after he's done selling his merch." He goes, "Just give it to him. He's not going anywhere. I'll get it." So I go over and I yell. I go, "Andy, you better pay PCO or he's gonna kill you." And PCO just looks at him and goes,
I'm like, "I got you, brother."
But wow, what a nice guy he was too.
Incredibly nice guys. So much fun. And then
it's always better when the people are cool and they're personable. Because when they're just there and they're like, it's not as fun.
Yeah, there was not,
and the match isn't as good either.
I can't even really say that I've met someone backstage at PPW who wasn't cool.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're not that they're mean, but they're just duds. You know, that happens.
Yeah, it was just really awesome to sit in a room with people you've watched on TV for so long and just talk wrestling. It wasn't even about them. It was just about wrestling.
I was surprised at the height. Not that they're not big guys, but PCO and Jonah, not that as tall as I thought.
Jonah's like a wide man.
Yeah, he must weigh at least 250.
Best wrestling T-shirt I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that was great. The picture of Andre, and Dustin grabbing his
stall.
ass.
Yeah, and Dustin on his head grabbing his butt.
But yeah, I was like, wow, I'm about as tall as these guys. They're not that bad. But Moose is very tall in real life.
Yeah, and he leaned up so much. He just keeps getting more and more lean.
So they already have one tall interviewer there with Tom Mitchell. This new guy, Coach, he's taller than Tom.
He has to sit in a stool.
Yeah, and they go in and Anthony just goes, "Why are you so tall? Why are you so tall?"
Oh, Anthony Green and Casey Navarro were right across from each other doing merch.
Great.
And they were just selling the match. Like their match made them selling the match made me want to watch
fans
it.
of the meet and greet are going to be at the show too.
Yeah. And I was like, they were like, Anthony did a great promo on Twitter. He would a Twitter like a I'm gonna kick your ass type. And then the whole time during the meet and greet, they're just trash talking each other. And Casey Navarro, I guess one of the fans handed a ticket to him and he goes, "I'm on the ticket. I don't see you on the ticket, Anthony Green." And Anthony Green goes, "Let me see that ticket." And he grabs it, holds it up. He goes, "Holy shit. I didn't know they could print you life-size photos on these tickets." And Anthony's and then the whole time Casey Navarro singing his entrance music the whole time. And like, it was a fun banter between them. And
Casey's got a big match coming up this weekend.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Kid deserves it, man. That kid's putting work in. Casey Navarro's a good fucking dude. But let's get to our next match.
So the next match was for the No Limits Championship.
Or the 10 Limits.
The 10 Limits Championship.
10 Limits Championship. The N fell off, so it says 10 Limits.
Yeah, it looks like it says the 10 Limits Championship.
So you have to beat Rembrandt 9 times to get that belt.
No, there's just 10 limits to the match.
Oh, okay. Part of the
Part of the N fell off. Looks like it says 10 minutes. Like, 10 Limits Championship.
How does it say TEN if an N fell off?
Well,
Was it
speaking-
10.
Speaking of our, oh man, I put it in the wrong spot.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Now I get it. That belt. Apparently, there is a new one being made for both the TV and the No Limits.
Oh, now they make a new TV
Yeah,
title.
yeah. I know.
Look at that bullshit.
I see how it works.
I guess the TV was supposed to be, but not yet. A couple more weeks yet.
There was a fan in the
So it's
crowd who
coming.
had
Oh,
a
good.
better-
When you win it back
Yeah,
from that
yeah,
no
I'll
good
get a
Fox
brand.
Hey, aren't
Vineyard.
you the number one contender
Yeah,
for that
getting
again?
that brand spanking new one. Yeah, there was a kid dressed like Iron Sheik, and he had
I
TV
did see a
replica.
picture of him.
That-
he was
that kid was
cute.
a-
of the
adorable.
TV title, and
Yeah.
it was like exact. I was like, wow,
and it was in better shape than his.
it's in better shape than the real
Uh,
TV title.
Well, speaking of the No Limits champion, Rembrandt and Cosmic, our brand new logo, which we will debut the start of season 4, which will be the brand new year.
Right now,
Right now. Here it is, our brand new logo. That's super exciting.
it's very nice.
Haley Stokes, our wonderful artist, made that for us. You can get a jump
I
start.
have to ask, the paintbrush in her hand, does she has is that something to do
Yeah,
with her
so
gimmick?
their whole thing is they're artists.
Oh, okay.
So Rembrandt, like, there's been promos where they're painting and they have paint all over them, and like,
And if you want to show off some cool merch, you want to show that to the camera?
oh yeah,
I picked that up at the
Yeah, I
PPW
saw that
show.
too.
Very
That was
chibi.
cute.
Yeah,
little Cosmic keychain.
chibi-headed Cosmic.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Chibi.
chibi.
Yeah, she's amazing. Cosmic, she's hashtag your favorite. She's your favorite always. That's her whole post, like your favorite Cosmic. She's super cool. But yeah, we're very honored to have them as our new logo. If you want to get a jump start on that merch, you can get it right now. And there is a code. I don't remember exactly what it is. I think I put it in the chat. Let me double check real quick.
It's called Pay Full Price, you cheapskates.
FUCK.
If you go to Teespring,
Cut that out.
they're on sale now because they were just uploaded, so I think you got like 24 hours of them being discounted on Teespring, TeePublic. I mean, Teespring, if you use code super10, but I think it ends tonight at midnight, you get 10% off all your orders, but that ends tonight at midnight. So if you want to get the new logo, Not Cool in High School got a new logo as well. We'll talk about that next show. But yeah, so back to the No Limits Championship match.
Yeah, so Rembrandt is like, I'm sick of them announcing these matches so late. I'm not wrestling. So he sits on commentary while Travis Jacobs, Chris Slade, Trevor Cage, and Tarzan Duran are competing. And at the very end, Rembrandt says, "This is a title match now," and he gets in the ring and gets the pin.
Well,
Still champion.
Cosmic comes in after Chris Slade.
Yeah, I didn't see the match. You gotta fill this in
And
for me.
Cosmic rips Chris Slade out and throws him into the post, and
Oh,
and then he goes, "This is now a championship match," and he rolls in, takes the pin, and they leave.
that is funny. I
Yeah.
like it.
It was
I didn't get to see it.
Next match.
Next match, and this is why Andy didn't get to see it, because
Yeah.
the next match is South Philly's finest.
Yeah.
Andy Header,
It-
South Philly's
It was
finest, and
supposed to
Vinnie
be
Mac.
Team Andy Header.
Team Header. Yeah.
I hate anytime when it's team something.
Yeah.
The original. Come up with a name.
So
I hate team anything.
yeah, so it was.
So it's you, South Philly's finest, and Vince McMahon. it
Yeah,
seems.
Vince
Vinnie
McMahon.
Mac.
I know it was what El Jefe something.
Yeah.
He couldn't make it, so another one of Alpha's trainees, Vinnie
Good.
Mac, came,
was
and he
good.
was pretty good. It
He was
looked
very
good.
good.
Yeah.
I didn't know
First
his
time
name.
meeting him, first time seeing him wrestle.
Didn't know his name until he hit the ring
I know. Neither did Paul. And he's like, "What's his name?" I go, "Hold on."
because I said, "Paul,
Okay,
can
back.
you please get me his name?"
And I go, "Vinnie Mac, like Vince McMahon." Yeah, that's
Yep.
what I said.
Paul Bo got me his name right
Yeah,
then and
I mean,
there.
maybe not the best name to have for wrestling, but he was very good. I thought.
Who was that guy training it before the show started?
I don't know.
Wow, he's
Yeah, we saw a lot of office kids working out.
Okay.
Hey,
There's this one big dude. He's gonna be fun to watch in
Yeah.
the future. Oh yeah, he moves. He's a big dude who moves like a fucking gazelle.
if you can get trained by the greatest family in wrestling history,
Yeah,
you
why
take
not?
that opportunity.
Speaking, I want to put her over real quick. Offa's daughter. Did you hear the conversation?
No.
Oh my god! So Offa's daughter comes walking up to PCO and looks her. I mean, she's little and she looks PCO right in like a true Samoan kid. Looks him right in the eyes and goes, "You're wrestling my dad tonight." And PCO never even flinched. He goes, "I'm gonna hurt him bad." And she looks at him and goes, "I doubt it, but I watched your wrestling matches on the internet, and you're weird. I watched you get a nail in your nose, and PCO broke." And he goes, "You know too much." And I said, "When are you wrestling?" She goes, "I will never be a wrestler." I said, "That's a missed opportunity, kid." But PCO, dude, as soon as she said, "You're weird," you had a nail in your nose, PCO just started losing it. It was the most adorable moment. It was that and the baby Iron Sheik made
Yeah.
my night.
That was great.
Don't
Yeah.
say never, kid, because you never know.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
I'm sure at one point Vince McMahon said, "My children will never date a wrestler."
Yeah, or never be involved.
Yeah.
You know?
So Andy picks up the win. He gets the pin on Tim
Theory.
Tim
Yeah.
Theory.
So it was
Superman
defeating Fox Vineyard, Isaac Rule, Mad Dog, and Tim.
Yeah, Superman Punch, Kryptonite Crunch.
Interesting little dynamic in that match. One person you did not get your hands on the entire time
Fox.
was Fox.
That coward.
I know. Who
And at the
Coward Fox
at the very end, Andy got in his face.
give me the low blow
I'm coming for you, baby.
and took the title last time.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
So still eyes are fixated on that title.
Yeah.
Still.
I want it back, especially if it's a new belt.
Yeah,
I want to be the first one to have the new belt.
There you go.
I want the old one. I want the new one.
So, and you're here to hear first. Header still has his eyes on that title,
Mhm.
and he wants that new one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. You didn't get your hands on him. A lot of
No.
teases did not get your hands on.
But you
him.
got your hand raised.
Yes,
That's
Got
all.
your hands raised.
That's the most important.
Next match.
Singles competition. Mike Orlando gets the win over Black G's, one of the mainstays of the independent circuit for the
Mhm.
last couple decades here.
Yeah, geez. 20
Black
years.
Jesus is built like a cannonball.
He is.
He's
He still moves too, man.
oh good.
I think he's been doing stuff with NWA recently.
Yeah, I think.
I know he's wearing like an
yeah,
NWA
I think
jacket.
He showed up
backstage.
and
This is not a knock or saying that he didn't have it before, but for a guy who has had two severe knee injuries, I think Mike Orlando is better now than he was when I first seen
I
him
didn't
at
really get to see him a
PPW.
lot then.
His last two matches or three matches at PPW were very impressive.
The only match I only really got to see Mike, and it's unfortunate, was a match with who did he wrestle? Elgin at the Impact
Yeah,
show, and he
and-
was
yeah,
still
He couldn't move.
he was still very, very laid up with that injury.
But Mike Orlando's last match against Moose was excellent, and this match of Black G's was very, very good. I think coming off an injury, I think Mike has his priorities on. I think he really knows what he wants here, and he's been killing it, man. At least at PPW, his matches have been fantastic, and he's hit a new stride. And coming,
And
we always another couple months. Look for Ali Rex. She's no longer on crutches, no longer in a brace.
Yeah,
she's
I was gonna say,
coming off
she was
her
injured,
injury,
right?
so we're
Yeah.
excited to see her return as well soon too.
I always
to a new
wondered
pop-in division.
I always wondered too, because they always said this was going to happen, and never did. What Kane would have looked like if he joined DX and had the green outfit. It's like that's Mike Orlando.
Yeah, Michael. I said he looks like Kane with wearing green with no mask.
Jeff Blackman says the logo is awesome. Jeff, we miss you, bud.
Jeff, were you at Barely Legal?
Yes, Jeff, were you at Barely Legal ECW? That's our next topic. So I wanted so if you are, let us know.
Well, if you were.
If you were, let us know.
if you're there now, I'm surprised.
If you are, then let us know because I'd like to know how that is
Yeah,
happening.
if you
Time
are even
machine.
better time travel, I'm
Yeah.
coming with you, and I'm hitting the lottery.
Yeah, and I'll go back watch pay per view live.
We'll hit the lottery, and then we'll
Yeah.
we'll watch a pay per view, then we'll buy ECW,
Yeah,
and then ECW will be around to this day.
I'm like, look, there's a kid that's like 10 or 12 right now. His name's Tony Khan. You want to just get a hold of it?
Yeah. Make his experience in the show.
I'm hitting every power. I'm going to be Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I don't need to get a hold of him. I'm going to be him.
There's also a fat kid named Conrad. He might be able to help you out. He's in the second row.
They're gonna do some cool shit later. Next match.
So the next match was a match I did get to see for the golden ticket briefcase. Davey Richards successful over Action Andretti, Griffin McCoy, and Joey Martinez.
Yeah, I see most of this. It was very good.
Good
I
match.
All of it, I
Dude,
think.
Action Andretti
It's very good.
is gonna be serious, man.
When he did that, what was it? He did a split leg moonsault and then something else. I think it was like a Spanish fly and then split leg moonsault. I was like, wow, what a clip.
I think
What a little segment that was.
I think with not Rembrandt, with Facade being on the shelf for a
Mhm.
little bit, I think now is the time for Action Andretti to really steal the hearts of PPW's crowd
Like the high flying.
of being that guy. He has a great look. He's
Mhm.
super talented, and it's crazy to even think that he's going to stand out that much because obviously Davey Richards in that match, and this is no shade to the fourth guy in the match, and also Martinez is just a superstar.
Yeah,
Hey, Griffin McCoy's my buddy now. He's a Delco kid. So
yeah, he did very well in that match.
He's
too.
very, very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. But going into that, he was definitely he had his work cut out for him being in there with Andrade, Martinez, and Davey
Mhm.
Richards, and all four of them looked excellent. The match was very good. It's probably a top contending for match of the night.
And then Davey Richards wins with the brainbuster, right? Oh no,
the
he did the
submission.
brainbuster and the submission.
Yeah, he had the,
he had
ankle
submission
lock with
first,
a cross heel hook. Yeah,
got out of it, hit the brainbuster, then put him back to submission.
Great match. Great.
Yeah, it's very
very good. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of the match. Singles match. Wish I could have saw this one, but a little busy backstage. Casey Navarro victorious over Anthony.
Yeah,
Green.
I did not. See
They
him.
fucking tore it down. Where I said the last one was a good match, this one it was even better. This match was unbelievable. They kicked the shit out of each other. When Casey Navarro was doing that promo with Will Ospreay, that's Anthony Green's foot on Casey Navarro's face.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, they they beat the shit out of each other, but it was an excellent match. Casey Navarro gets the win. Anthony Green is someone who I hope we see way more at PPW. He's just a great person to have in your locker room. He's super entertaining. He's super funny. I tried to buy his one t-shirt. It looks it's like an Adam Cole Underspin Era ripoff, but it was not my size. But next show, I'm never one to shy away from a t-shirt. So next show,
that's true.
But I got a Christmas card from him.
From Anthony Green?
Yeah, he had
He was signing them. They like they had a stack
I
of them
bought
there.
a t-shirt. He's like, I have
You
extra
got one
Christmas
in the
cards.
mail?
Well, yeah.
Listen, you don't have to tell everyone that, Brian. He gave me personally a Christmas card. He's like, listen, I love Camp Leapfrog. I know you were a part of it. He knew me
He
by
named
name.
Camp Leapfrog.
I know he knew me by name. He didn't, but he will now. We're best friends.
My friend.
Hey, brother.
Out of
The
everyone,
card says, hey, brother.
out of everybody, everyone we met in the show, PCO now follows Tornado Tag Podcast on Twitter. Just saying.
So it's funny you bring that up. My buddy Jack, his oldest son, lives in North Jersey most of the time, and he went to a wrestling show up there, and Alpha was there. Alpha Jr. was there, and he goes up to Alpha, and he's like, "Do you know?" And he said my name, my real name. And he's like, "Yeah, I know."
He doesn't. He does. He knows you personally.
I mean, if he saw me, I would imagine, but yeah.
All right. Next match.
Next match was the number one contender for the women's title, 5-way scramble match, where Danny Moe gets the win over Christina Marie, Notorious Mimi, Cosmic, and Valerie Vermin.
Another great match, dude. Notorious Mimi.
Didn't get to see a second.
Keep an eye out.
Danny
for her.
Moe is so much better.
Danny Moe
She's gotten so good.
Yeah, Danny Moe got so good. And we're gonna see her square up against Adina Steele.
Yeah.
We had a little.
Is that next month or
At some point, she's number one contender.
At some point, but some interesting tidbits happened that match. So after the match was happened, Rembrandt goes up to Adina Steele and says, like, you caught a trash talking her, and he grabs her title and he goes like, me and Cosmic are both gonna have your titles. Adina Steele comes out from behind commentary, lays Rembrandt out, takes his title, and leaves. So Adina Steele possibly teasing that she might go for 2 titles. She might be the first woman to hold a non-women's title at PPW.
Right? No limits.
There is no limits to that title.
I pitched that 3 years ago.
Yeah. So Adina Steele walks out of PPW with Rembrandt's title. Did she give it back to him? I don't know.
Who knows?
Something to keep an eye out there at PPW. She walked out with his title that night.
Wow. Maybe that's the end of that title, and then they'll give him the brand new one.
Yeah. And,
Who knows?
Interesting thing that I think would be fun to see. I think if we have a situation where Adina, Rembrandt, and Cosmic are in a triple threat match.
Oh wow!
And,
how about that?
And the winners walk out with the title. So if Adina gets pinned,
here's what I pitched in the car when we were riding back. I'm like, well, I know you're chasing TV title right now, but I said, why don't we do Adina and Andy against Rembrandt and Cosmic, winner take all.
How about that?
If Rembrandt and Cosmic win, Cosmic's the women's champion. If you and Adina win, you are the no limits champion.
I think it'd be fun to see Adina with 2 titles. Adina 2 title.
I'm trying to get a title on Andy.
Come on now. Let's try that. Try to help me out here. She only got 1. I got none.
There you go. So you throw your name in that hat too.
There we go.
But interesting development at the end of the match.
And then for the big one, the big prize, the PPW heavyweight title, Bro Keller successfully retains over Facade.
Excellent match. They did a great job.
I didn't get to see it.
Me either.
And unfortunately, we did learn later, and it's public knowledge now. I put it on his Twitter. Facade has
a problem at the end of the match too.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yes.
He had he has a torn MCL and PCL. His surgeon was saying 6 months, but he also said his surgeon saw some things he's been able to do lately, and it might not be that long. Let's hope it's not that long.
If you watched him wrestle that match,
you would never know.
The last match at PPW, and he said it's been going on for about 6 months. So his last
that's what they said it would be the timetable for recovery.
Yeah.
He got hurt in an OVW show, he had a dark match in OVW.
If you've seen the way he's been wrestling the past 2 shows at PPW, he does not look like he has a torn MCL.
No.
This guy is gritting his teeth. He's getting in there and he's putting shows on. And as someone who's been watching him now at PPW for almost a year and a half, and then obviously minus the COVID era, the guy puts the work in, not just at PPW, any show he goes to, he's grinding. His merch, his interaction with the fans, what he does in the ring, the risks he's willing to take with his dives and his jumps. He did another crazy dive from the inside of the ring to the outside with a torn MCL for that match.
And a PCL. That's 2 tears.
Yeah. And he puts everything he has in every single match he does. It's going to be greatly, greatly missed seeing him at shows. who knows? Maybe he'll still come hang out because I know Danny Moe's in the title hunt
Yeah.
there now.
Mhm.
So we may see him just hanging out, but he's gonna be very missed in the ring, and quick recovery because the guy take time, get better, and come back. If he's doing this with two tears in his knee, imagine what he's gonna be when he comes back.
Yeah,
Just don't come back too soon. You don't be like Brian Pillman.
that's right.
Yeah.
And then you get hurt again, or it's just
So
Let it
overall,
heal,
great
then you're
show.
all
I
right.
know we went a little long there on the
Yeah, and then our two final matches
shit,
were
yeah.
Alpha Junior defeating PCO, and then Moose and Jonah in a double countout.
Moose. I'm sorry, PCO Alpha Junior was fucking insane.
Yeah, I looked out to just see what was going on and then see chairs flying.
yeah. And PCO did his dive when he the dive to
He
the
did
apron.
a swanton.
Yeah, he did a swanton bomb. That I did see too.
He swanton
And he
from
did
the
his
top
moonsault,
rope
yeah.
to the apron.
Yeah.
This
to
man
the
is
floor.
54 years old, I
Yeah.
think. He is
Wow.
older, because we're going to be talking about Barely Legal. He is older than Terry Funk was at Barely Legal.
Wow. That's crazy. And he's getting power on the floor.
No,
from
he
the
must
ring.
be young at heart that he's really
Yeah.
wanting to do
Yeah.
that.
Yo,
Good
and,
for him.
and honestly, someone backstage, he's not limping. He's not struggling to walk.
No,
Oh,
he doesn't-
53. I'm sorry. He's the same age as Terry
He
Funk
doesn't
was at Barely
look
Legal.
like Mick Foley.
He doesn't
nothing
look
against
beat
him.
up.
No,
No. And
not human.
we even
Not human.
talked to him backstage, and he was like, he kind of alluded to what we talked about in the last show. He was like, what a crazy second half this has been for me. Like,
Yeah, really.
going from where I was and then this new character and everything I've been doing. He's
Yeah.
like, it's
One other interesting thing, too, is this was the same night as Final Battle, the last Ring of Honor show, and 2 Ring of Honor champions at that show.
Mm-hmm.
this kid had a really, really cool Ring of Honor title, and PCO seen it, and I guess the kid was like, hey, I didn't get a chance to see. I came late. I didn't get a chance to the meet and greet. And
Yeah.
PCO was like, bring it here. That title's beautiful. Like it was,
Yeah. It's the
and-
one he had probably.
it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
and PCO signed it for him. Like I said,
That's cool.
He had a really cool book, too, of WWF
like
history. And there's
encyclopedia.
Oh,
the WWE, and he signed the Quebecers
Oh,
part
yeah.
and the Jean-Pierre Lafitte
Oh, that's
part.
cool. A lot of people do that. They take the encyclopedia because all the pictures of the rest.
And thank the kid for
And they-
showing
they
it to him
get
because it was
signed.
cool, like
Yeah.
to see that stuff. And yeah,
PCO is such a cool guy.
fucking beautiful guy.
So that was open season. So much fun.
Oh, and Moose and Jonah is the match everybody has wanted to see on the independent scene. If you want to go watch the whole card, go check it out on Fight TV. It's a great card. Even though we told you who won, please go check it out. It's a lot of fun. You get to hear my amazing voice and commentary. Tell me if I did bad or good. Feedback's always great. But but no, great card. If that's the match you want to see, Jonah versus Moose, you're not going to be disappointed. They went all out. PCO and Alpha destroyed a guy's merch table.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
they
yeah.
threw off. PCL threw off on the full merch table, full of action figures, and
Autograph
I was like,
action
oh,
figures,
boy.
autographed 8x10s. Somehow only one toy got destroyed.
Oh,
Well, that was like
One.
by the grace of.
Yeah.
A Drew McIntyre box
well then,
did not
who
make the cut.
cares?
Oh,
But
It wasn't like it was a.
as soon as
Baker.
they hit the table, I was like, that's expensive.
yeah, I was like, ugh. Especially some of the figures that are sought after. They're hard to
Mhm.
get. They're $80 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one wants to buy it if the box is fucked up.
I would have bought it still. Let it breathe.
Not for $80.
Not for you.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like,
the high end ones.
But do you have the PCO off a discount now?
Yeah.
So it was a fun night. But let's get into our topic. Barely legal.
ECW's debut on pay-per-view.
You actually own it?
Yeah, I actually own the
ECW?
original ECW.
See, that is
DVD.
good. That has the real music on it.
If you got,
Not the crappy.
yeah, if you look
music
that up on
Peacock-
YouTube,
Peacock.
it's or YouTube. If you look it up on eBay, it's probably
why
like
is it
$50.
like rights? Like
Yeah, they
rights
used
off
real
of-
music in ECW.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like the White Zombie and
Oh, okay.
yeah, they use
Yeah.
real bands.
That's basically like I know crossover, but Supernatural. The first season they couldn't use any of the real music that was actually in
Mhm.
on the air on
Yeah.
Supernatural. So when you watch it back on Netflix, it's all like
generic. Like,
Generic. yeah, it's
Like-
metal, but it's
yeah, yeah.
generic. It ain't like Metallica and yeah.
It is
'Cause
very
what
hard
he's actually
to.
listening to, what Dean's actually listening to.
There are certain parts of all these stuff is very hard to watch. Like the Sandman's entrance,
Yeah.
where he's just walking around for 5 minutes. It's fine if you're listening to Enter Sandman while he's doing this,
Yeah.
but
But the shitty WWE thing
Yeah.
they put, it's like, could you
Yeah.
at least put a rip-off version of Enter Sandman? Like something? It sucks.
Like a
Like the one
cover,
from the
yeah.
ECW album where it's like some stupid band covered it.
oh yeah,
You remember that?
it was Motorhead.
yeah, was it Motorhead? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Motorhead.
Yeah, and the Tommy Dreamer's music was like bad. So it was all covers that way they
Yeah.
could get around. We can use the covers, but we can't use it.
You can't use the actual song. Yeah.
So dumb. But anyway, yeah, this has the legit music's in it. So like
music.
Taz comes out to his
War
War
Machine.
Machine by
Yeah.
Kiss. The Eliminators had their own music, but they did have a White Zombie. But like Robin Dam, well, he's already in the ring, but like if it would have walk,
Pantera,
so,
yeah.
But it does have the real music.
I forget what Lance Storm was a White Zombie song too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
think
was.
it was.
Oh yeah, what was it? Because of the Impact Players. It'll come to me. Oh, Phantasmo and the Chicken Run Blasting Rom or something.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep.
Yeah, because and then Just Incredible was Snap Your Finger,
Yeah.
Snap Your
Dun,
Neck.
dun, 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 prom.
The first ROH show I went to was like Wrestle Rave. He was like a mystery partner for DeVito and Loke. And when that music hit, that crowd went insane.
Yeah, especially these or Philly.
Yeah.
And then Terry Funk comes out to sad country music.
No, he Desperado by the Eagles.
Yeah, Desperado.
God.
I was thinking, like, that's so sad. Like,
Yeah, no.
doesn't make me think about a fight.
I'm surprised they didn't have the BWO music. Like it's the Swamp
Yeah.
Candles.
Well, they were already in the. Yeah, but does Stevie come out to it? I'm had to see him there.
Not on
Stevie.
Peacock.
Yeah, probably unless
no.
he does, because Raven comes out to.
Come out and play.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we'll say, man.
That's how good the music was back then. You just remember all the songs.
Yeah.
Like Shane Douglas, Perfect Strangers,
And it
Deep
was,
Purple.
yeah, it was always like hit for the most part. It was like hit 90s metal at the time,
Yeah.
or grunge or whatever.
Yeah.
If it fit the character.
One of the great ones, one of the dark matches here. The first dark match was Louis Spicoli defeating Balls Mahoney,
Yeah.
who'd always come out the Big Balls by AC/DC.
Yeah, and this is when he was like just freshly turned into
Yeah.
Balls Mahoney.
Yeah.
Balls Mahoney, not just random jobber guy.
Or as we would always say in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, B Mahoney.
Yeah, B Mahoney. We can't put balls.
Just got the new pro.
You couldn't put that in the magazine. You
No.
couldn't put balls in the
Well,
magazine.
there were some
Seriously?
really interesting edits on this Peacock version of the show. Your other dark match was Chris Chetty and JT Smith beating the full-blooded Italians.
Chris
So at this
what?
point, Chris Chetty,
Chris
Chetty?
Chetty.
like Lord Chesterfield Elliott.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that guy. I want
He's Taz's cousin.
I was just gonna say.
Well, actually, he's Hook's uncle,
yeah, he's some.
or Hook's cousin once removed.
He was not bad, Chris Chetty. Then he formed the tag team with Danny Doring. I forget what. No. He was what tag team was he? No,
Nova.
Kid
He
Cash.
teamed with Nova.
Oh, I thought it was
I think
Kid
so.
Cash.
Maybe it was Kid Cash.
I forget. It was near. It was the end of ECW.
Yeah, I think it was Nova. And then so him and JT Smith defeated Little Guido and Tommy Rich of the FBI.
Which I would rather that match on the pay-per-view than the Shane Douglas match.
Yeah. I think this might have been JT Smith's last match
Yeah,
in ECW because he went back to Maryland and he just
So-
stayed.
JT Smith was this guy who one time went for a dive and he fucked up and fell, and that became his gimmick. So then he
Mhm.
would purposely go for dives and moves and fuck up.
And then they would chant, "You fucked up."
Yeah,
Oh.
And then his
And
gimmick
he was
became
a-
later that he was an Italian man.
yeah, but he was a black man.
Yeah.
But he was from Italy. So when you were in the FBI, wherever you were from, you were
Yes.
from that town, Italy. So on the one pay-per-view when Mabel came, he was from Harlem, Italy.
And Tracy Smothers was from Nashville, Italy.
Yeah, Nashville.
Well,
Tracy
the
Smothers is like juking and jiving, but he was a long time
the
FBI.
Italian thing with him started in, and it's so funny. It started in Smoky Mountain. They brought in Dennis Corluzzo, the promoter for NWA New Jersey, and his whole thing was like, I have proof that Tracy Smothers is really Vito Marinara, a full-blooded Italian from Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania.
of all places.
Of all places, yeah.
Schuylkill Haven.
Way below
No,
the-
known for its large Italian heritage? No.
Listen, that's where we all hide. Because they hit us.
So then the show proper starts with Joey
Well, if they're
Styles
hiding
coming
Italians
out.
in Schuylkill Haven. Where the hell are we putting the Irish?
And then
Nowhere. Remember, they didn't want them.
same
That's
town, but
right.
they get a little corner on the side of the town no
Nowhere.
one likes. Yeah.
The
Where are we at? I don't know if you guys talked about when I went upstairs real quick. Where are we at storyline here? Like, what are some big stories going into this?
We'll run through this
Okay.
as we're going through the show. The quest for pay-per-view is the big story because this was the white whale for ECW. It's like, oh, we got to get on pay-per-view because then you've made it.
Yeah. Because
And-
97 WWE and WCW were running hot on paper.
Yeah.
Another quick question.
Big business.
Was Joey Styles always solo commentary?
For the most part.
This was, think to this point, except for that little bit where Dreamer's in there, this was the first time that, and to this day, I think the only time.
You gotta love Dreamer, Joey. You gotta shut up now because I really like to see this match.
I
Very
like-
fun.
I like
I
that-
gotta focus.
I like that Beulah had a headset on and never said a word.
Yeah.
Like she's at a commentary thing. She has a mic, she has a headset, never said a word.
He did a fantastic job solo.
Yeah,
That's not easy to
I
do.
think to this point, he is still the only guy who has ever done except for that one little part of pay-per-view solo. Because after this, they would always put either Gertner or Don Callis or somebody with him. They put Rick Rude with him for a minute.
When Shane Douglas was hurt, he was with them.
Yeah.
that was the big thing that stood out to me is he did a great job on and
Joe Styles is great.
and to realize this is now your first. So this is like, hey, first pay-per-view for our company, big deal. You're gonna solo it on
Joey
commentary.
Styles was excellent.
Yeah, but he
What a-
was already ready. Like, 'cause he'd been doing the show solo, and
Yeah.
he would do that little statement when they do the Batman camera angle, and they go
Yeah.
sideways.
Yeah, Joey Styles was a big part of ECW
I tried
success.
doing commentary solo one time and it was a fucking shit show.
Really?
Oh, it was awful. Who's at the Sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
And I'm literally just at one point just talking to myself, like, I don't know what I'm saying right now. Just
That's what. Yeah, it's
your Diary of a Madman.
It's a unique art.
It's crazy. So huge props to that. And the ring sounded gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Do the mics underneath the ring. You
They
think,
probably
on that?
might.
Yeah, I'm sure they did for the paper.
But it wasn't over mic'd. Like it sounded good. Like
Yeah.
the big spot sounded big. And like I hate when a ring, everything sounds like it's a big spot. Like every time they run the ropes, like go, go, go,
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
go, go. Like
Yeah.
it sounded like when they hit it, took a bump. That's the only time you really heard the
Yeah, and
it just sounded great.
the arena looked great for being a shithole at the time.
Yeah.
I love that camera angle with the fans' arms and heads in it. I don't know. I was into it. The hard cam. Where
Yeah. Well, there's just no room in that place.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's
The ECW arena.
There's nothing else they could do. Yeah.
It's not big.
Now
Love
it's
it.
a little bit bigger because
Yeah.
like they expanded into what was the former
Foreman Mills.
If I ever do production again at a show, I'm going to try to recreate that camera.
for that. I like that too with the fans in the front. Not understand. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
yeah, it is cool. It's more makes it more intimate. That's what ECW is all about.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I was listening to on a podcast that AEW is doing. Like they make you feel like when you're at home that you are part of the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where WWE is kind of overproduced,
Just
where
come in,
they kind of erase all the imperfections, so you feel like it's like
It's sterile.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, ECW is also the first company where the audience is a character.
Yeah.
Like the audience is a big
Oh,
part of the show.
Yes.
Well, the first guy in the ring that takes a bump is wasn't a hat guy.
No,
Sign guy.
not the
Sign
sign
guy.
guy Dudley.
Yeah. Oh, sign guy. Okay. I know. I seen them rush him like back into the crowd. Like when they do a camera angle where like
No, he wasn't a fan at that point. He was.
oh, I thought they were because after he takes that bump, like they show it for a split second, but they're taking someone to
They
the
might have
guardrail.
Yeah, no, that was no.
Might
he
have just
was-
been the person that gets the gear and
Oh.
takes it
Yeah.
back.
yeah, he was because there was a sign guy, and then they put him in the crowd as sign guy Dudley.
Yeah.
and he was like the heel sign guy because
Okay.
there was a guy who was just called sign guy,
All right.
and then he was sign guy Dudley,
Alrighty.
and the hat guy,
Right there, right in the middle.
Andy
John.
Hedder's old manager,
Mhm.
hat guy.
Yeah, John was right there in the middle. You could see him. That guy carrying on. He's a great guy.
Yep.
And Faith No More guy was there as well.
Stanley, I'm sure, was there somewhere.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering.
The usual
I don't think
suspects.
he's still watching. I was wondering if Jeff was there. 'Cause
Yeah.
Jeff was always.
He might have been there.
So we open with Joey Styles in the ring, introducing everybody to the show. And the Dudleys come out. They are the ECW Tag Team Champions. The titles look just like the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, I like that.
That was a cool title.
And then they came out to no music, but they had no music for ECW because they just want the fans to like shit on them. So they just
For a
come out.
while, they would use Highway to Hell.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dudleys.
Yeah, and then that went just to Spike when Spike
Mhm.
got over. Spike didn't. Yeah, he wasn't here yet.
Okay.
And Big Dick was not in here either. Was he?
He comes on. He comes in later.
Oh, okay.
He at this point, the Dudleys, when these Dudleys come out, it is just
Oh, yeah. Big Dick left because it was Bubba and Big Dick, and he left for a while,
Yeah.
and that's why they brought in Devon.
so it's Bubba, Devon. There was
What do they
dances with
chant?
Dudley.
They're
There
chanting,
was
"Fuck you, Devon."
Fuck you, Devon.
Yeah.
There was Chubby Dudley.
Mhm.
There was
Dudley.
Dudley. Well, the original ones were Dudley, Little Snot Dudley,
Yeah.
and Big Dick Dudley.
What's the heat on Devon here?
They just didn't like him.
Really?
Yeah, the Dudleys had a lot of heat.
Yeah. I know Bubba would like tell the crowd to go like.
Well, no,
fuck
that was
themselves, yeah.
later. But
Yeah.
no, they would say fuck you to all the heels.
I just wonder
For a lot of
why
heels.
they singled out Devon over everybody.
Probably just sounds better. No, because people liked Bubba. People thought Bubba was funny because right before this, he was doing the stuttering
The
gimmick.
stubborn, yeah.
So when they would yell "buh, buh, buh," that's what they would yell at Bubba.
Yeah, and he did the punches, but then
Yeah.
it went to balls and balls.
But then
balls.
he like just started being serious and being more like what Bully Ray would become.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're just So the entourage here is, and the Dudley, the whole gimmick was based off the Hanson brothers from
Yeah.
Slapshot.
From Splat. Yep.
And so Bubba and Devon come out to interrupt Joey Styles. You get "fuck you, Devon" chants, and then this is just a setup for the opening match, which is for the tag team titles: the Dudleys against the Eliminators,
The only
Saturn
thing
and
is-
Cronus.
Joe Gertner was not doing his sexual innuendo.
Yeah,
Here.
yeah,
And the intro would get longer. Sometimes they
Yeah.
would go up to 20 minutes. This intro where he just put over the Dudleys and he'd always say something dirty.
yeah. We'd
about
always
them
talk about like
banging chicks and stuff. But
Uh,
here I was like, oh, he didn't give one.
I remember when he was like,
And on a pay per view, no less.
Yeah.
Like when you could.
I think it was maybe the next paper he was talking about like. So he looks at somebody, he's like he's introducing like Bubba Ray. He's like, "The man that had such relations with your mother
Yeah. And he
last
points them at
night
somebody.
that he is considered your father
It's seven
in
states.
47 states."
He was doing some of that at Outbreak,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I mean, yeah.
and
That's a shtick, yeah.
and Trajan and
Radke.
were like, get the fuck out of the, because they didn't like.
they didn't know who Joe Garner was.
They're a little young. Oh,
Yeah.
Trajan List is probably a little.
Yeah.
Trajan's like, get out of the ring. Who is this guy? I was like, that's
I'd
what
be
he
like, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, the great T-shirt there that night too. The
Yeah,
the
I
old
bought
Daniel
one.
Bryan shirt said quintessential stud muffin.
Yeah, well. Instead of yes, well. So he was. A lot of their characters here in this show were not what they would become quite yet.
Yeah.
Almost.
He's almost there. Yeah. And he already have the neck brace with the bow tie
Yeah.
though. He wore a neck brace forever, and then he became a baby
Did he
face
take
later.
a spot here or later on in the
This
show?
is that was post match.
Okay.
The Eliminators come out. Sign guy attacks the Eliminators. And you're just like, you idiot. Why would
Is the Eliminators? Now, if I ask this, I'm not being insensitive.
Mhm.
I'm just asking. Were they gay characters?
no,
All right, because they hugged a lot.
no, they weren't.
All
No,
right.
Cronus, they would make it where he's like,
He's a good oddball.
yeah, he's a little nuts, maybe slow. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of the thing with Cronus. Like,
Because they were like they were like best friends hugging
yeah,
like every 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a
no, they never had a thing like that.
Oh, I thought the hot pink and the way they were
No.
like 'cause
They were-
it's 90s wrestling.
Yeah,
They were relatively freshly turned babyface here because they used to be heels. They were managed by Jason Knight.
yeah.
And here they're babyface, and this is toward the end for them too, because not that long after this, Cronus or Saturn goes to WCW,
Mhm.
and then he had another tag team, the Gangstas, New Jack and Mustafa,
Yeah.
and Mustafa left. So then you had Cronus and New Jack, and they were called the Gangstanators.
Yeah, they just put them together, and it was like total
The
mismatch.
best thing like that ever was that you had Crime Time, Shad and JTG, and then you had the Dude Busters, which was Trent Beretta from ECW or from AEW, and he had a partner, Kalen Croft, and they fired Shad Gaspar. They fired Kalen Croft, and for a little bit, Trent Beretta and JTG were a team called the Crime Busters.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. This match stole the show from me, man.
It was very good.
For a
was.
man who's like over 250,
Cronus could move, yeah.
Kronos was good, man.
Saturn was a better wrestler, but Cronus
Yeah.
could do the flashier
Yeah,
stuff.
but Saturn even did the triple jump
Yeah.
moonsault basically.
Yeah.
And double jump.
And Saturn killed it, man. And I've always seen Saturn as like the goofy guy in WCW,
Yeah.
and then
You're
the
welcome thing,
goofier
yeah.
guy in WWE.
Yeah, moppy.
And this, I was like, holy shit, Saturn and this dude are fucking killing it.
Yeah.
They were
And
really
Cronus,
good.
Unfortunately, passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he had drug problems.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Cronus was really good, and he got very heavy near the end.
he was super talented.
Yeah, he
He would
was.
do like 450 splashes, so much stuff. And they're Kowalski guys. They came from Killer Kowalski school, same place
Oh, wow.
Triple H came from.
And what a lot of people don't know, Saturn was like he was. What can I say here? A long time ago, I heard a story about Saturn actually helping a girl that was being raped in an alley.
Yeah.
Like, he went
Really?
and beat the shit out of this guy
That
and
happened. Yeah.
saved this girl.
And he like disappeared off the face of the earth for a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
People were
And
worried
then
that he was dead.
He was on really hard times, and then
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
GoFundMe,
Mhm.
He was
Jericho.
homeless for a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Upsetting because those two, and for me, I'm not, like I said, I didn't watch a lot of stuff at this point in time, but going back and watching for the first time, they would have been a tag team. I'd have been like,
Oh, the Eliminators were great.
they're my favorite.
Yeah, and like we said, I mean, Brian and way up, I was like, these guys were the age they are now. They'd be in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge stars,
Mhm.
especially RVD and that Storm, Eliminators.
The Eliminators,
This whole
Eliminators versus
entire
FTR,
roster,
baby.
minus
Yeah.
like 4 people would be in AEW.
And the Eliminators get the win and win the tag titles here with one of the best tag finishers ever, total elimination.
Yeah,
That move was always so good. You
Yeah,
can do it to anybody. It looks good.
yeah. Cronus would kind of nail you like he did with that stud muffin here.
Joe Gertner gets
He took
kicked
that
in the
fucking spin
mouth.
kick.
He gets kicked, and he didn't even hit the floor yet. He already held his mouth.
Yeah. So yeah, post
He was checking his
match,
teeth.
the Eliminators win the tag titles. But Joel Gertner says on the stud muffin scoring system,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Eliminators actually won, or the Dudleys won on points and are still the tag champions, which they didn't get a lot of offense in this.
No,
match.
the beginning
it
of that
was
was all
almost a
eliminated.
squash.
Yeah.
Boy, there's not a lot of room between that guardrail
Oh,
and that
no.
crowd.
No, they were
The
diving.
I don't know. I haven't been in since they did a lot of the renovations. Last time I was in, it was that ECW show in
Oh, wow, yeah.
06. That arena was small.
It was. It's very
Like-
small. You walk in like, this is it.
How many people would they get in there?
A few thousand, like
Yeah.
1,000,
Yeah.
between 1,000, 2,000. And they would turn people away.
Yeah.
It happened to me. You would get turned like
At that pay per view,
arena's full. You got to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was there for the New Japan show, what, 2 years or 3 years ago? And that now they expanded. It's very nice. It's bigger, but still small buildings.
Yeah, it
Huge.
like I'm trying to think of a building that like it's way smaller than Hamburg. It's way smaller than
Mhm.
not just the Holy Family. It's smaller than Signature Training.
Yeah.
It's that.
But it would go like
It's small than signature training.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes.
the original arena, yes.
Holy.
wasn't that much,
'cause
but
Signature arena does
They would
not
put
seem.
bleachers in it. So there'd be like, I don't know, 6 rows and there would be bleachers. So it looked
Yeah.
like it was full. But
Wow.
It was a tiny
It was just
building. Yeah.
tiny.
you could throw something from one end to the other and hit the wall. Like even if you're not a good throwing, you could like, take this cup and hit the wall.
Holy shit.
Yeah, not now, but before, yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to
And
believe.
there's these fucking 4 poles around the ring.
Yeah.
And if you got the chair like right behind a pole, you can complain. Sometimes they would move you because the fucking pole.
That's insane to
Yeah.
me. So like a building that's smaller than the one we go to for PPW,
Mhm.
and that's not a knock to that building,
No.
but that facilitated a company that was rivaling
it was-
WWE.
They didn't really.
Yeah, they never. I mean,
but I mean, like
they were the
they
third
were on the
promotion.
radar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it was higher, so that gave it the illusion that was
Mhm.
bigger. Like it was a high
Wow.
ceiling.
It's funny. I went to a show there. It was called Break the Barrier. It was like it was an indie, like there used to be this old wrestling website, Scoop Central, and they
Yeah.
put this show on, and like all these indie people would bring in. It was the first time I saw Mike Quackenbush.
Yeah, like superstars of indie
Yeah,
wrestling.
they, like different, like every company would send a match.
Yeah.
Like the match, it was like I think a thing out of Pittsburgh, like Steel City Wrestler or something. It was Mike Quackenbush, Lou Marconi, and Don Montoya.
Oh wow.
And because they had
The
a
Black Shirt Brigade.
they had a title called the Lord of the Dance title, and it was only defended in 3-way dances. And that was the first time I ever heard of CZW because they did Nick Gage and Justice Payne in a staple gun match.
Wow.
But one of the matches they had was this guy. There's this guy that came in from LA, and he's like, "So yeah, this is the ECW arena, right?" We were talking to him before the show because there was a convention. He's like, "Yeah, piece of shit, isn't it?" He's like, "Yep."
Yep.
Wow.
They used to have one bathroom.
Yeah.
For the fans and the wrestlers.
Oh my God.
Imagine what that bathroom looked like halfway through the show.
Yikes.
I remember Holy Family
Yeah.
bathroom after
Oh,
one
man.
show.
Yeah.
And after
And
halfway
then
through,
they like give them the gym bathroom.
bro. I listen, wrestling fans, I love you. All right, support us, do the whole thing. But some of you motherfuckers are nasty son of a
And then
bitches.
the area in the back where all the wrestlers would hang out, noisy as hell because it's right under I-95.
Yeah.
Like I-95 is directly over.
Yeah.
the
So you
arena.
walk out the back door of the arena. So like where the entranceway was, you'd walk in the back and it's literally like locker room, door outside, and you're in the parking lot. That's like
Everyone
and
hung
then
out in the parking lot.
I-95 is right there. Yeah.
Yeah, people would hang out after the show and like because they would stay around and film promos until like 2 a.m. and like the wrestlers would hang out. My buddy Jack and his dad and Jericho were like just hanging out for a half hour telling dad jokes to each other for
Yeah.
one time. I remember Jackson talked to like Spike Dudley for like a half hour once. It was a crazy time.
That's nuts.
But then after this we had a video package for the Sandman, and then Chris Candido was in the ring. He was hurt. I think the original match here was supposed to be Chris Candido and Lance Storm.
And this is that's the original match. And this is Candido fresh off of WWE.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the body Donis was zipped like the year prior.
because he said I can't say my girl's name because we'll get sued. Or
Yeah,
something
but he's
like
like, how was my buddy Tom, Dr. Tom? We
Yeah,
were
that
tag
was-
team champs at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
Not the best promo, but
Yeah.
just gonna do was never. the
that. Is
best
he
promo.
legit hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he takes a fucking hard bump on the apron at the end here.
They
Yeah.
were crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his arm. I mean, yeah, people are.
He's there with a separate shoulder, and he lands right on his shoulder on the apron bump.
Because the next pay-per-view, this was in March. The next pay-per-view was in August, I think. And at that point, Taz is the TV champion and he wrestled Candido. So he was back relatively
Yeah.
soon. Him and Lance Storm were doing that whole tag partners who hate each other thing, where they're like the tag team champions.
Like the bar.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
like every WWE.
Yeah,
team.
because eventually, when Sunny left, she came in, but the kind of taunt him, Lance Storm brought in Dawn Marie.
Yeah.
If you remember Dawn Marie from WWE,
And her name was Tammy Lynn Bitch.
at that point, I think she came in with Simon Diamond because
Yeah.
they were a couple
Yeah.
at that point. So at this point, it was supposed to be Candido against Lance Storm. Candido was hurt, so Rob Van Dam comes in,
Mm-hmm. Looking
And-
great.
and
Boy, his
they
voice
both
is
look
so
great.
different.
Yeah.
They both look great.
Rob Van
Dam. I'm out here.
Yeah.
the whole effing show.
He wasn't
yeah.
Rob Van Dam yet because he did the 5-star frog splash halfway through the match.
Yeah, it was like
wasn't his
when
finisher yet. His shooting star, the split leg moonsault was his
Mhm.
finisher.
yeah, it was like back if you look at early Shawn Michaels and the super kick is just something
the,
goes in
the
the middle of
side
the match.
suplex was
Yeah,
his finisher.
it was a-
teardrop suplex.
Yeah, it's awful.
So this match was Lance Storm was in great shape. Everything looks crisp. Van Dam was obviously really good.
And they both could just jump right up to the top rope.
And,
like,
and RVD at this point in time is still like a tag team specialist with Sabu, right? Like him and
Oh,
Sabu.
he
are-
does know.
he had just started tagging. with
Yeah,
that.
I
This
was
is
gonna say.
Rob Van Dam pretty fresh to ECW.
Yeah.
So at this point, the biggest heels in ECW are WWF and WCW. And there was talk in the dirt sheets that WCW was going to sign Van Dam. So that's why he had the "you sold out" chance in the beginning.
Okay.
And they kind of turned into it. Like he talks about, I'm available to work Mondays
Yeah.
later. And that's where he did the one match on Raw because they had a working relationship with WWE or WWF at the time.
Well, the backstage thing that they talked about on all the podcasts is like essentially WWE was paying them, like giving them money
would
to
always
be like
hear-
a feeder.
You would always hear that Vince was, and Heyman has denied this. Heyman said the only money Vince ever gave me was something for Too Cold Scorpio
Yeah.
with his like a licensing deal. With a
Pritchard
record
says in
company.
his podcast all the time. There was I won't say dollar amount, Conrad, but there was a check every week going to ECW.
I
Well, he
believe-
said that, but they said it was because of the Scorpio deal. But no, Heyman was most likely a consultant.
Yeah.
And yeah, they would bring guys down. Like Al Snow came down. The head gimmick started in ECW, and
Steve Austin was in ECW
well, he
for a
was
little bit.
he was in ECW between
Yeah.
when he got fired by WCW and when he signed with WWF.
Okay.
He was only there he had 2 matches.
Yeah, it wasn't that
Yeah.
long.
But
Pillman.
yeah, but
And Mikey Whipwreck.
Mike Whipwreck was there for a while.
No, I'm saying that was Austin's Matt was what Whipwreck.
He lost to Mikey Whipwreck, and then the next match was a 3-way. It was Whipwreck, Sandman, and
I work with a girl who her boyfriend shares an office with Mikey Whipwreck.
Really?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Like they work in the same building.
that small world, because all those House of Glory guys, they always talk about like Mike Whipwreck's their grandpa, because Mikey Whipwreck trained Amazing Red, and then Amazing Red trained them.
He, I believe Whipwreck was the first trainer at PPW. Like he was their head trainer for a while.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
But this match is very good. One of the greatest things is because Van Damme's throwing chairs, but Landstorm always gets that hand right in there. And he's not taking the chair shot, the unprotected shot to the head. He always gets the
Smart
hand
man.
up. Smart man. And then
Even though he has a rat tail, as a smart man.
and then he hits RVD with the lightest chair shots ever.
Yeah,
and the crowd
boo.
pulls the shit out of
But then he powerbombs on the chair like, yay!
And then the win, Van Damme gets the win, the Van Daminator. And even with that, like Storm is taking the bump before Van Damme even kicks the chair. He just throws the chair over his head, safe as can be.
Yep.
But still a really good match. And
Mhm.
they were both like ready for the big time at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then Van Damme does the heel thing at the end where he's talking about like this is a stepping stone. He was mad because he was an alternate, and he should be on Monday nights.
I'm worth more money here and elsewhere.
And the crowd's just chanting, "Get the fuck
Yeah.
out!"
Yeah.
He
Goes on-
wasn't,
goes
he
on to
wasn't
be-
beloved yet.
Goes down to be the biggest baby face.
He's
Yeah.
probably the number 1 ECW guy.
Here's a question. I listened to Van Damme on Van Vliet, and the question they asked them is, "Who is your Mount Rushmore of ECW?" You cannot put Paul Heyman in now.
Okay.
It has to be a wrestler.
Wrestlers.
Wrestlers.
It's
Okay.
Van Damme, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, and probably Terry Funk. Or maybe Sandman, you could say. But not Sandman for wrestling, just for character.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as like the essence of ECW, it's probably Van Damme.
Van Damme said
Yeah,
him,
Sabu, you could say.
Tommy Dreamer.
Sabu put them on the map.
Yeah.
Who did he say?
That fourth one could change. It could be Taz.
Yeah. There's like
he said Taz.
there's
I was
7
gonna
guys.
say,
to
how
bring-
can you not put Taz on
the guys that are in the discussion, it'd be hard to narrow it down to 4. It's Van Damme, Sabu, Dreamer, Raven,
Raven was on the list.
Raven, Sandman.
Who the fuck was the fourth person? He said. I forget. I honestly
Maybe
forget.
Cactus,
Huh?
Cactus Jack,
No.
Terry Funk.
He went with
Terry
people.
Funk.
He
newer
wasn't Funk
guy?
either.
Like,
He went with
Steve
guys
Carino
who were
or
there from
something?
like the beginning, like guys from the beginning.
New Jack.
He wasn't New Jack either.
That's
I forget
about
what-
it from the
Taz
beginning.
was there pretty early.
He said
on.
Taz himself. Dreamer was his fourth one.
And Sabu.
Sabu. Yeah, it was. It was Sabu. That's what it was.
Shane Douglas.
Yeah,
Shane
you could
Douglas
say
is a
Shane
big one.
Douglas.
Yeah,
But by
that
the
was
time Van Damme was there, Shane Douglas was kind of on the way out.
Yeah.
when I think when I think ECW,
Shane Douglas.
I
Shane
always
Douglas
thought,
was their Ric Flair.
I
for
always
a long
thought Sandman, Dreamers, and RVD. That's what I always thought of
Yeah.
when I thought of ECW.
Van Damme, like Shane Douglas,
And Dudley
might be on
Boys.
there for me. Like
Yeah.
Shane Douglas was such a big part of their.
I mean,
identity.
he essentially birthed the company by taking the title,
Yeah.
right?
They left, came back, left, and then came back. And
But I'm saying, like, what take?
oh, yeah, when he threw down the NWA title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can make arguments. Say the Dudley Boys should be on that.
yeah.
I agree. I think the Dudley Boys when I think of ECW.
And I wouldn't put them on Mount Rushmore, but as far as like who are the big stars like pre pay per view before this, it is forgotten how like for a while their top act might have been Public Enemy.
Yeah.
They were so over.
Yeah.
They weren't.
They weren't that good.
They weren't that good. I mean, Rock was better than Johnny Grudge, but they weren't that good.
The Public Enemy was like they were the number 1 baby faces for a while, and
Yeah.
and the tag division was super important there.
Mhm.
So then the next match was the Michinoku Pro match where you had Great Sasuke, Gran Hamada, and Masato Yakashiji, who was coming in as a replacement for Grand Aniwa.
Yeah, I'm still in the graphic on this DVD. It still says Grand Niwa. Has a picture.
It was
of
even the graphic on the show.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
And then
And it's like Nakashiji. I'm like, oh. And I've never seen this guy since. I'm
Yeah.
not a big Michinoku Pro
he's just
fan.
like Robin Hood.
Everyone else eventually made it to
That's the
Japan.
one they were chanting Power Rangers.
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they went up against they in Michinoku Pro they were Kai and Tai Deluxe.
Yeah,
but
which
here
would
they're
be in WWE.
here they're BWO Japan, and because you had the NWO Japan people like Chono,
and they all
it's,
wore blue anyway, so it worked.
Yeah, so it's Taka Michinoku,
Love
Dick
'em.
Togo, and they on the thing it probably says Terry Boy.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
'Cause
they
you
keep
do,
calling
like-
him Terry Boy.
Because he would dress up as Terry Funk sometimes as a gimmick,
Mhm.
but it's
He loved-
men's Teo.
Yeah, he loved.
Yeah,
Terry
he even
Funk.
said on the back of his tights, men's Teo.
Taka Michinoku, baby, love that guy.
Yeah.
And he
This was a fun match.
so good
He
at
was
this
good.
at this
Yeah.
time, and he's 23 years old.
Yeah,
I guess he's still with us stuff.
Is the
from New
Michinoku
Japan.
driver probably one of the most used moves?
Yeah, because it's cool. It's
Yeah.
easy.
snowplow. Yeah,
You just about anyone can do it. Whoop.
Love it.
and then because it wasn't long after this that this match got a lot of buzz, and WWE's like, hey, let's work with Michinoku Pro. Let's take these guys from ECW.
Yeah,
And-
and that was the first match was Taka versus Great Sasuke.
And the idea was they were going to sign Sasuke, but they were so impressed with Taka, we're going to take him instead.
Yeah,
And I think Sasuke rubs people the wrong way backstage. He has a big ego.
yeah.
But Taka was the one that was successful, like Dick Togo and Teo, and they were
Eventually, all would get there.
they would get there. And then Funaki, obviously, but
Dick Togo, man.
I forget.
Kenta,
I forget
New
who,
Japan right now.
what podcast I just listened to. I listen to so many. I listen like 5 a day. But supposedly John Laurinaitis was trying to, or is trying, or has worked out, or is about to work out, or in talks with working with New Japan.
no,
That's
They tried.
that would have
About a year ago,
Mhm.
because to give Danielson the incentive to stay, they'd say you can go do the G1. and
Yeah.
it didn't
what
get
what they wanted to do is they were trying to get an exclusive partnership with Japan, where New Japan would partner with them and them only, because that would have kept Bryan Danielson with them.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have gone to AEW probably if that would have happened, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah,
and here we are.
I can't
Yeah.
see WWE working with New Japan.
I don't
No.
either.
It
but
wouldn't work well.
Well, like the people they would send over to New Japan, they would look great, but the people that would come to WWE,
Yeah,
not so much.
and
No.
and
they get to like Tongas.
It's a one-way.
That's probably all they would want the Tongas.
You
yeah.
mean
Tama Tonga?
Yeah, Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's not who people want to see. People want to see Okada. They want to
Yeah.
see
they want the
Naito.
stars. Yeah,
And Okada, his guard would be up
Yeah.
because of what happened with TNA. His guard would be
yeah.
up.
He probably would. Like, I don't know if I want to come, or they'd send a couple guys with him, and I could see them giving him something back. No, and they just leave.
I think he would do AEW
awesome.
because you would have that kind of trust in AEW. But
Yeah, with the Bucks.
it like
Kenny?
that time and Impact that fucked with Okada's head.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He showed him. I'm gonna be the best in the world. Yeah, well then he was.
Yeah.
And it's still him and Danielson, like 1 and 2, maybe 3 you can throw in.
Kenny Ospreay.
Yeah,
like,
Kenny-
That's
yeah,
like
Will
your Mount
Ospreay,
Rushmore
yeah.
of wrestlers right
What
now.
match besides the Japanese guys coming over to AEW? I already know Brian's answer because we talked about it on the way home
Yeah.
from PPW. What match right now with all the releases and everyone you have in AEW is like bucket list rematch?
What did I say? I don't remember.
What? So nobody from New Japan?
No, you could say New Japan, but like obviously the big ones we just said, like Okada versus Kenny and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Okada versus Danielson.
Yeah, that
Tanahashi
That's
versus
a big
Danielson.
The one we
Shingo
said on the way
versus
home is Gargano, Johnny,
Oh,
Gargano and Daniel Bryan.
that would be great. I would rather see Okada and Daniel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather see
That's the dream. match.
Okada.
I
versus
would
all
like
the
to see
Americans.
Okada anything in AEW.
Yeah, I watch
We'll
Okada.
get Okada versus
Okada versus
Yeah.
Luther just to get him on
Oh,
the show.
yeah.
Okada,
here we go.
Okada versus
Just do your drop kick.
Orange Cassidy.
No. I thought Okada versus Hook. Now we're talking.
Yeah, fuck that Kenny match. Hook, baby.
They'll break the
Oh, poor
record.
Kenny's gonna be out.
They'll
for a
break
bit, I
that
think.
record from Flair and Inoki in Korea.
Yeah,
You just got to get that big stadium in Michigan. Okada
Vegas
and
Stadium.
Hook.
yeah.
Vegas.
Okada and Hook. And
It's come eventually. he'll wrestle in
200,000
AEW.
people. Put it in a racetrack. 200,000 people for that.
And if Japan didn't have the COVID restrictions right now, there would be AW people on the
I
Yeah.
think it's kind of
Wrestle Kingdom.
I think it's kind of good that it hasn't. I think this slow build. to
Anthony
it is-
Blackwell says
Yeah.
COVID is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I said I think for in terms of wrestling, I think right now, like I think it'd be easy to
It's
jump the
giving you
gun
that,
and try
yeah.
to force everything now.
Yeah.
Where this COVID is making you slow down and work with what you
Yeah.
have.
I mean,
Slow
it
burn,
sucks
yep.
for Wrestle Kingdom because they went through 3 nights. Like they really could use some AW guys,
Yeah.
especially when there's like, oh, we can get Danielson Punk now. What?
Well, some guys are still finding the way over to New Japan. Like Jonah was just there and back already.
Yeah, but that's
Well, getting is when you go there. Coming back is because the U.S. doesn't really take this whole thing seriously. Japan does.
Yeah, but
so
now
when you go
apparently
there, you have to
they
quarantine.
said no.
Yeah, now-
no foreigners.
Yeah.
Or no, native, not Japanese
gaijin.
people. Yeah, no
That's
people that don't
racist.
live in Japan.
Close the border.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Sorry. Next match.
We had a little promo with Stevie Richards. The ECW love to do a thing where people are talking quietly and very serious. And
yeah.
not really looking at the camera. And then Blue Mooney comes in and
The
just
very
does comedy.
angsty.
And
yeah.
they also the Batman camera angle.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
The
Totally
Dutch
love
angle,
that.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
But that takes us to Shane Douglas versus Pitbull 2. So here's a big angle.
And that was a
going on at
match.
the time.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
The big angle here, Shane Douglas is your TV champion, and he is feuding with the Pitbulls because Gary Wolf, Pitbull number 1, the one that didn't wrestle here, the guy who was in the crowd with
Who's
the
sitting
neck
front
brace.
row at a neck brace.
Who I'm friends with on Facebook, and he
Are
says
you?
happy birthday to me. Yeah, he does. I say happy birthday to Gary.
Well, you know what? I think
Very
the match
nice.
would have been better with him.
He had
It actually would have been, and that's a shoot.
And he had legit neck injury. And he had a halo where they screw a halo in your head so your neck stays still.
Yeah.
He was okay. He was ready to get it taken off. And like, before we take it off, let's do an angle.
Yeah.
So he's in the ring with Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas grabs the halo and just starts shaking him. And he goes down like he's paralyzed. And that was a big thing. Francine managed the Pitbulls. And then in a match, it was like a 4-way match. I think it was a match where Shane won the TV title. It was Shane Douglas, Scorpio, Pitbull 2, and Jericho for the TV title. Francine turned on the Pitbulls there, and the way she turns heel is she's like wearing a like shorts or a skirt or something, and she takes her skirt off and her underwear says franchise on the back.
Yeah.
And that's how you turn heel in ECW.
Where does Francine rank on your hot scale at this point?
She's not very high, actually. I like Francine. I watched her, she was hot, but she looked a little too 90s porn stars for me.
That's what I thought when she came out in the mesh dress.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and a lot of times she'd wear like that leather, like anything from a 90s porn, like the real tight, like shiny dresses and stuff. That's what she
So,
wore.
I
and the glitzy little bit of jewelry.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be misogynistic or sexist or anything, but I think in today's times,
Mhm.
I think the butt's where it's at, and she just lacked in that department.
She would show that off then, especially when she would get
But
polished.
she had like 90s white girl butt. I'm saying
she was a white girl and this was the 90s.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I'm saying like today's time, every girl's got like the Sir Mix-a-Lot going on.
It's today's time. Though. This was the 90s.
Yeah.
the 90s. For 90s, like that's where all the porn. Like she looked like a 90s.
She did.
Yeah.
She's like a 90s
Yeah.
porn star. And they were brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
The
have
fans
herpes.
were-
She's got herpes.
Yes.
She's a crack whore.
Yeah.
But you know what? She played it off real good with the like,
she's
shaking her head.
Show your
and-
tits was also on her channel.
Yeah.
She was a good manager. She played the crowd
Yeah,
well.
Francine was good.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think. It was the 90s. It was wrestling.
Talking
Yeah.
was
I
a little
mean-
tough because Francine had a really, really, really thick Philly accent.
Yeah.
Still does, I'm sure, but
And
yeah.
half the time you'd watch WWE. I mean, in the Attitude
Yeah,
Era, and
puppies.
people would be
Yeah.
flipping,
Yeah.
showing them
Well,
off.
that all came from ECW. WWF Attitude, they told that the whole playbook was taken from ECW.
Oh yeah, WWE Attitude was made by ECW.
The other big thing here is Shane Douglas at this point is being just like there's a nuisance where he keeps getting taunted and just called out by a guy in a mask.
Who's totally not Rick Root.
Yeah.
That was
Totally
the-
not
that
one of
was
the
the
guys.
gimmick.
Totally
Yeah.
not one of the guys with the most distinctive voice in
Yeah.
wrestling.
Hey there, Shane
Mhm.
Douglas.
what I'd like to have
Yeah.
right
And
now.
he's too big and too fat. I'm like, no.
It's howdy doody time, Shane Douglas. And then he came out the one time, and it's like the guy's wearing the Simply Ravishing robe
That was
with
this.
the mask.
That was the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
That was the
okay.
show.
Okay.
So they said that Douglas is so hated that for insurance purposes he has to have a security escort,
Yeah, the Riot Squad.
and it's guys in like riot shields,
Not the
riot
Ruby
masks, and
Right,
everything.
AK motorcycle helmets.
Yeah. So he gets an escort from them. And then we have a really bad match. Gary Wolf jumps the rail. he
Anthony
gets involved.
Durant wasn't the best wrestler.
Yeah. And
He's better off in the tag team.
he too is no longer with us.
Yeah,
he
he
actually
did die.
he was friends with Jack Stad. They worked together for a little.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah, they worked in Philly together. Yeah.
He had a great look.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he looked a little blown up. You got a "We Want Blood" chant. There was a little bit of a boring chant.
They,
Yeah.
Yeah,
way
they
too
went,
long.
they went for a long time, and he had a lot of muscle mass on him. That's
Yeah.
a lot of body to,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go that
Shane
long.
Douglas was pretty good.
And they pushed a pretty
Yeah, it was no
fast.
Shawn Michaels. but
They pushed a pretty long, big pace for two.
yeah,
big guys.
probably a little more than
Yeah.
Should have.
this is the match where Chris Candido gets involved because Shane Douglas he would have a stable a lot in ECW. It's called the Triple Threat. The original Triple Threat was
Why
Shane-
was everyone holding up fours? His four
they would do
reasons.
threes.
Oh, I thought they were doing fours.
No, Shane Douglas would do this sometimes like a limper stiff four because he was taking a
He
shot
hated
at the Four
Flair.
Horsemen.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would always call out Ric Flair, would call him Dick Flair, would challenge him.
Yeah, he said
Uh,
I'm calling every promotion out, and they're a bunch
Yeah,
of pussies.
and I'm not doing this for the thing it means now, but he would always do this because that was a Triple Threat sign.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the triple threat originally was Shane Douglas, Dean Malenko, and Chris Benoit. They both left, and then they redid it. And it was Chris Candido. At this point, it was Shane Douglas, Chris Candido, and Brian Lee.
Who
Then
fake Undertaker.
yeah, and he was toward the end of his run here because really soon after this he goes to WWE and he's part of DOA.
DOA was a fun little stable. The bikers.
I hated that.
I didn't like them at all.
The gang war thing. I hated Los Barricos. I hated.
Oh, I liked it.
The
I
Nation
only
was okay for a minute.
Nation
but
was
I was a
okay.
kid. I liked it, so I don't know how I like it now.
I hated the race wars.
when
I
they
hated
pushed
the gang wars.
when they pushed all the motorcycles over.
Oh, I mean that's
Did
cool.
nothing
but
for
I was
Yeah.
young. I loved it as a kid.
that Survivor Series Gang Wars is awful. Los Barricos was
I
awful.
had to go back and watch it.
And the hallmark of every Shane Douglas match in ECW, all these chair shots, table bumps, people getting hit with nuclear warheads, whatever it is. And Shane Douglas wins the match with a belly-to-belly suplex.
like
Yeah.
Magnum TA.
With the last bump of the thing, he hits him with like a chair or and then he like essentially the dude no sells it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
belly-to-belly suplex. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
That was kind of Pitbull's
At that
thing,
point,
though.
I was like, "Thank God it's over."
Yeah.
Yeah, now he did start using the Pittsburgh plunge, which is a Fisherman Buster,
Yeah.
which was a little bit better finisher.
So then at the very end, yeah, you have the Rick
Mask.
Rude call out.
Yeah,
The masked man comes out, simply ravishing robe. He's wearing the mask.
and doing the Rick.
Yeah, he's got the jaw jutting out,
he's doing the.
doing everything he can
Joey's
do.
oh come on!
That is
now.
the
Yeah.
that is the best. You ever feel bad about your day? Just bust the Rick Rude out. You'll feel real good. Just in the middle of Walmart, like I'm depressed.
The middle of
Just put your
Walmart.
hands on your
You
head
really
like,
want to do that in the middle of our Walmart?
And just-
what kind of ladies would come up to you?
and just shake
and
it
the
out.
cops we called.
You
What you
just
gotta
shake
do
it
is
out.
you gotta hijack the PA system and go, what I'd like to have right now.
Yeah. Oh, you St. Clair sweat hogs.
Keep the noise down.
Yeah.
Listen, if
Please don't do it in
listen,
St. Clair
If you're watching live or you're listening,
Take that to hometown.
or if you're listening back to us
or Cole Township.
in audio, what I want you to do is, if you're not driving, just throw your hands on your head
Even if you are driving, it's worth it.
and just swivel your hips. You're gonna feel a lot better about your day. Like it's uncomfortable, right? Because you may be like me, have a little bit of a dad bod, and you don't have kids, but when you you throw those hands on your head and you swivel those hips, at first it's gonna feel weird, but the more you do it, you're gonna feel good about yourself, and the rest of your day is uphill from there, or downhill. It's gonna,
I guess.
But then
give it a shot. Let me
Shane
know.
Douglas-
Comment, take a screenshot, comment to us, and say, Tony, you saved my life with that Rick Rude thing. I'm gonna add it to my daily regimen.
But Shane Douglas attacks the masked man.
Yeah.
But it's not Rick Rude because one of the riot guys comes in.
And he's in there way early.
Yeah.
Takes off the riot helmet.
And
That's Rick Rude. And the masked man is Brian Lee, who has turned on Shane Douglas because Joey Styles later said Rick Rude showed him the money because Jerry Maguire was out around this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rick Rude got that W money.
Francine, I didn't even see Francine sneak out at this point. She was quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and
Rick
this-
Rude had that dirty money because he was gone like a month later.
no, that was a bit later. It was around November.
Okay.
Is it the same time
He
where
turned- he
he
actually
showed up on all
turned.
3 shows in 1 week?
No.
Yes,
he was on.
that was in November.
Yeah.
He was on Raw and Nitro the same night, but he was
Wow.
also on ECW that week too. Because
Yeah.
toward the end, they put him in with Joey Styles as like a color commentator, which surprisingly wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Because he could talk, but he wasn't good at that. But the great thing about that is because Raw was taped that night, so he shows up
I
on
need a Rick
Nitro.
Rude shirt now. I don't have a Rick.
He
Rude.
shows up on Nitro completely clean shaven, and then he has a beard on Raw an hour later.
Yeah.
I was a beard fan. I liked him with the old man, like
The
not the old man
classic
beard, but-
mustache. The classic
Yeah,
mustache.
the
was
mustache is
best.
good. But I liked when he had the short hair in WCW. With
Yeah.
the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
When he was international champion.
Oh, I fucking loved Rick Rude.
I liked Rick Rude. He could have been better than what he was. But he had that Lloyd's London deal. And he got hurt, and then
You could have made an argument, and I love Vader, so I wouldn't say, but he could have been the WCW champion.
for a while.
For a while.
And then the deal was he would get paid from this insurance as long as he didn't wrestle.
Mhm.
And he's trying to get out of it to wrestle because he got to the point where he could wrestle, but then he had to pay so much back to the
Yeah.
deal. He tried to get Eric Bischoff to do it to wrestle in WCW, and I was like, I'm not paying that much
Him
because it was
him
like
and-
several. It was like 20 grand he'd have to pay.
Him
just
and
to be able to
Mr. Perfect were 2 people. I was like, man, like I feel like they could be world champ. Him,
Robin's
Perfect,
Del
and,
High.
Yeah.
him, Perfect, and Piper were like my 3 guys. I'm like, they're my favorite, but they're not world champions.
Rick Rude got a good match out of Ultimate Warrior.
Kurt
Yeah.
Hennig was a world champion in the AWA.
Yeah.
Yeah. but not when I watched.
Yeah, not yeah.
And
Yeah, he does a Gonzo bomb in that match.
And $1 Million
Definitely,
Man
wow.
was another one that I was like,
No, man, should have
obsessed
been.
with it.
It was if they weren't so dead center, and Hogan must be a champion.
Well, you said he defended the title, but he was
He
never
did.
technically
That was
champion.
DiBiase, yeah.
Yeah, I said the $1 Million Man.
When he bought the title, he defended it in like a house show before they did the thing on TV where Jack Tunney vacated it.
Yeah,
He defended it. I think against like Duggan or
a
something.
couple of them guys could have had like a
I think if you
4
buy
month
it,
run.
I think if you buy it, you're technically champions. They should put him in the ring.
Yeah, let's go buy the titles. Some of the champions might sell you the title happily.
Pedro Morales,
Especially in the 80s.
pawned
Yeah,
the title
He
once.
pawned that. Can you imagine that? Oh, I don't care about the title.
Yeah.
So
I need. No, I don't
I
know
need
Pedro
cash.
Miles. I don't want to assume what he bought it for.
if you're an asshole if you sell the title.
Yeah.
There's college football players who are selling their like
Rings, and
national
stuff.
championship rings
Yeah.
for tattoos.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can see if you're hurting and you have to do it, but like, man,
Yeah.
to sell it for frivolous things, that's insane.
And then we had Taz versus Sabu was the next match. And they showed Taz just like going through everybody, beat Bam Bam Bigelow,
Phil Varlane's the
Paul-
UFC fighter, Paul Varlane.
Paul Varlins, he was in some of the early UFCs. He
That's back when they had no weight limits.
yeah, he was
And
like
anyone could fight anybody.
yeah. He recently passed away too. I think he died of COVID.
Oh yeah.
Scorpio, Jericho, Van Dam, Paul Varlins. It's a funny story because they called it a shoot fight.
Yeah.
The way they got him to agree to lose to Taz, he took a liking to Missy Hyatt backstage,
Ooh.
and Missy goes, if you win, I'll make it worth your while. And so he goes, or if you lose, I'll make it worth your while. So he goes out and he loses to Taz. He comes backstage. He's
She's
like,
gone.
no. She was still there. And she goes, I don't date jabronis.
And this is like at this point, Missy was not at her hottest.
Oh no, Missy still was
And she was still pretty
Missy
good.
was
'Cause this
still
was
in
94,
95 ish.
Yeah,
Missy was still pretty.
yeah,
So ECW
92,
bribed
Missy,
him
high level.
91, Missy
ECW
Hyatt.
bribed him with sex to take a loss.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
91, Missy Hyatt was on
Fucking
fire.
90s wrestling.
Yep.
Surprising. All right. So I'm not saying surprisingly good match, but
It was okay.
for how different
Yeah.
stylistically they are,
Mhm.
it wasn't a bad match.
And this was a
No,
match.
it's pretty good.
This was a match that was being built up for over a year.
Man, Taz was so good at fucking suplexes.
Because they
Some-
were
Some of those over the head suplexes that
were great,
Sabu
yeah.
was landing like on
Hook did a few. He did the head and arm.
Yes,
pass
he
flags.
did.
and people bought Taz. They bought him as this like real badass, who
and he
could
was
beat anybody
miserable
for real.
in
You know what
real
my
life.
favorite suplex I used to put in the game was, and it didn't happen until Taz like was in the games, was the fucking where he would take your leg and put it on
The
his
full cradle
Yeah.
Taz plex.
like you would
Yeah.
go to kick him and you catch your leg and put it on his shoulder
Yeah.
and just fucking throw you over his
Yeah,
head.
always a Tazplex, never a
Yeah,
suplex.
yeah.
He was so
Eh.
and Sabu landed those suplexes as clean as you possibly
Mhm.
can land them,
Mhm.
but still made them look
With
like
his-
they fucking were devastating.
His shiny green
Yeah,
pants.
I love at the very beginning, Joey was like, "You think you're a smart fan? Like they do not like each other. Like nobody liked Taz.
Yeah.
Everybody hated Taz.
Yeah, good match.
Pick a hand.
Yeah.
You know that story?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Van Dam was
yeah.
mad at Taz.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna fuck him up. Like, and he goes back to Taz, like, pick a hand. He's like, what? He's like, pick a hand. I'm gonna slap you. Pick a hand. And he just slapped him with both hands, I think, because Taz didn't say anything.
Yeah, and Van Dam is like he was like the most calm fucking dude, but
Yeah,
it took a
But he
while.
didn't take
For,
shit off of people. Yeah.
yeah,
Just didn't take shit off of people.
I like Van Dam.
Yeah, there was a bit of a styles clash here. But this match was built up forever because they were a tag team. Taz wound up breaking his neck in a match in
Which is-
Florida.
It's insane because he didn't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he winds up turning heel. He turned heel. We saw the match before. It was Todd Gordon against Bill Alfonso with that November to Remember show.
Yeah.
Bill Alfonso for a while was the biggest heel in ECW because people actually believed at first what the angle. Like the angle was he came in because he was a referee for WWF and WCW, and the angle was Bill Alfonso was appointed by the State Athletic Commission to clean up ECW.
Yeah, that's the enemy.
Yeah.
The athletic commission.
And that's the whistle guy. No, who's
Yes,
the whistle?
Bill
Yeah.
Bill
Alfonso's
Alfonso's-
whistle
yeah.
guy.
Dude, he fucking is everywhere. He's on the apron. He's on then he gets in the ring. He's fucking shaking he's everywhere.
Like they had like Fonzie Must Die t-shirts. Like people, because for not eventually they were like, okay, yeah, we get it
Yeah.
now. But for the first month or so, they thought it was real. They thought this guy's coming to fuck with ECW. And so it's funny because him and Todd Gordon were really close friends in real life. And apparently they saw him in an elevator together and they just had to start fighting for the fans.
It's funny. You're like, man, wrestling fans wouldn't fall for that shit now. And then
Especially
you're
ECW was
and then-
supposed to be the smart fan.
and then you fucking see the Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair
Charlotte,
hate each
Yeah,
other.
are them
angle.
people? I think Vince is secretly sending people to AEW to ruin it. Yeah.
Well, I don't
Some
think
people think Vince is trying to get Tony Khan to spend his money, which
Yeah.
might be the case.
Yeah, I don't think he's secretly sending people there to like Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, possibly go ruin it.
But that wasn't true.
But I can definitely see him releasing people to make them try to blow their load on their fucking
But
budget.
Why would you?
I don't think I don't believe it.
I don't believe that at
No.
all. Here's all my good people. You can have them and go have a good show. So that way you spend money and no one watches my show and everyone watches your show and you make more money.
I think
less
that
money.
I think their
Makes no sense.
their thought process is these people can, if they want to leave,
Mhm.
or we'll release these guys, you can go buy them up, and then you can kind of spoil your fans every week with a giant surprise, because that's kind of what WCW did. Big surprise, big surprise, big surprise. Every week you're getting a pay-per-view style show,
Yeah.
and then eventually,
But AEW doesn't do that.
eventually you run out of gas, and then no one cares about your product anymore, and then you're bankrupt because.
But WWE almost went out of business.
I agree, but that's kind of, I think they kind of think that the same thing with WCW.
I don't think they
Yeah.
think that. I think they think we don't need those people. They're worthless.
I agree.
Mhm.
Because
I
like,
think they just want to change their whole program into
yeah,
something.
imagine doing that
where they can own it
with your
absolutely
sports team.
everybody.
We're gonna give you all our good players to another team and let that team spend the money on the players and win the Super Bowl, and then we'll just wait a couple of years.
Well,
Makes no sense, right?
Hey, trust the process.
Yeah,
a
it makes
lot
no
of-
sense.
I mean, if you look at like back in the day,
And then we'll get those players back after you win the Super Bowl twice. Well, why don't we just win twice?
Yeah.
Like it makes no sense.
you'd be surprised how much that happens in the NFL. Like certain teams will buy a Super Bowl team, and they're good for 2 years.
Mhm.
Then those contracts come up, and because they won 2 Super Bowls or they made good appearances, everybody on the team wants big money.
Yeah.
And their teams fucking collapse.
Yeah, but that's,
In-
that's
in
different.
football, you
That's
have a-
different though.
yeah.
That's not
That's
giving
not-
your players away.
Yeah.
That's getting players to win, not
Yeah.
giving players to the other
The
team. So
closest
the other
thing that-
team wins.
The closest thing they ever had that was in basketball. The Sixers literally, they would trade away like any talented players they had because they were trying to stockpile draft. But it's different. Like
Yeah.
you're doing, it's
Yeah.
a strategy thing.
The
Like-
Seahawks. Seahawks were the most dominant team for like 3 or 4 years, and everyone's contract came up, and the Seahawks fell apart.
But there's also a salary cap. There's no salary cap in wrestling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the salary cap is how much you actually have in your bank account.
But yeah, well, unlimited.
Yeah.
Like Vince McMahon and Shad Khan are billionaires. There's no, they're fine.
They can sign everybody if they want to.
So back to the match. Taz gets the win by submission, and then Sabu and Van Dam attack, and Bill Alfonso joins up with Sabu and Van Dam, and this kind of starts an era because Fonzie now is more remembered as Van Dam's manager,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and this is where it starts. And he was mad because he bet on Sabu, and then Taz. He was-
lost more money on you, Taz. I lost a lot of money on
A lot of,
Daddy.
I think they put Alfonso with RVD at this time because RVD was not great at promos,
No.
and he had a really,
Yeah,
he had a
probably
really
not.
soft voice.
But then he went into the whole like, hey man, I'm RVD.
Yeah.
You know, he just went into the
Yeah,
stoner thing. and it
Van
worked.
Dam really came into his own.
Why didn't he just do that in the beginning? Like you could
Yeah.
see that about him. He's just kind of like the stoner guy, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, RVD kind of said it for a while there. He was always trying to appease everybody else, and he was trying to be what he thought everybody wanted him to be. And then he got to a point in his career who was just like, "No, I'm me.
Yeah,
I don't get.
that's
I'm
when you
going to be.
shine.
I'm going to
Yeah.
be unapologetically me."
For most of '97, though, he was Mr. Monday Night. They really played into the he's leaving for WWF.
Yeah, and then especially when they had the awesome angles,
And then he
all
left for WWE.
Yeah, but then he came back.
No, he was there to the end.
Yeah, he
Van
was.
Dam was there. He was on the last show.
Mhm.
He was one of the few guys that didn't leave, which
Yeah.
is funny because this whole gimmick at this point was he's leaving, and they even because they would work on and off with WWF. Like a few weeks before this, they did a show at the Manhattan
Okay.
Center, the Raw at the Manhattan Center, and ECW invaded Raw,
Yeah,
and they had a few ECW matches on Raw, and then a little bit after this, Van Dam had a match on Raw with I think Brian Christopher,
yeah.
and he.
Jerry Lawler brought him to Raw.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because then that's when Paul Heyman on the he's Jerry Lawler's son.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to rush it through here, but let's get some
oh yeah.
matches.
Well,
there's only two left.
two
One
left. Yeah, the three-way with Terry Funk beating Sandman and Steve Richards, and then Terry Funk also beating Raven for the
Raven,
ECW
Because it was
title.
the immediate title shot, which I
put
like.
the Terry Funk
Yeah,
sticker in front
I
of you.
did like that too.
It's somewhere in
watching
front of you.
that back,
The
I was
Terry
like,
Funk
that must
sticker.
look good
yeah,
deal.
so it's here somewhere. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think my laptop.
I don't remember the immediate title
It's
shot
right
other than
Yeah.
a couple indies. I don't remember that being ever used again in the
No.
And this is where Big Dick Dudley shows up. He shows up during the Funk Raven match because he attacks Tommy Dreamer on
Mhm.
commentary, and he's going to choke slam him off the stage through.
Yeah, and
they
Dreamer
called
ends
it
up putting him through the tables.
Yeah,
through 3 tables. Yeah, they called that the Eagle's Nest, where Joey
Yeah.
Styles was. And Dreamer had taken a choke slam through that before. Brian Lee did it to him, and they were going to do it again. But then Big Dick Dudley went through instead.
Yeah.
Which
He
couldn't have
just got out of jail.
the illegitimate mother of all the or brother.
And you had you had the BWO in full force. You had Big Stevie Cool, the blue guy, Hollywood Nova,
7-Eleven.
LOL. I'll pretend you said 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You had Thomas Inchworm Rodman was there.
Ah.
I love the BWO. They're fun.
Yeah, 7-Eleven was Rob Feinstein, who
Yeah.
would later start Ring of Honor.
And
And pretend
some
you're
other stuff.
and pretend you're. You said 18.
Yep.
And now he's part of a huge convention.
Yeah, well, yeah. gotta move on, I guess.
Yeah.
Fine.
We'll just pretend it didn't. We'll pretend you didn't say that. We'll pretend you didn't do any of that because you're bringing names for conventions.
You're bringing Onita, so
Yeah.
you can stay backstage. 'Cause if you don't, Onita will leave.
Yeah. Andy, what do you got to plug?
What do I got to plug? Well, I show wise, there's nothing because we got Saturday, nothing this weekend, the 18th, and then it's Christmas and then New Year's Day. So I have no shows until January. So no shows to worry about.
Anything like you want to plug that you got going on, or
I have nothing personal going on other than our shows. Oh, I will be on the John Moran podcast. I think it drops Moran and Friends. I think it drops. What do you say?
usually on
Tuesday. And sometimes he said the audio comes before the video. So
Are
Wow.
you doing it live with him?
No.
no,
pre-recorded.
we record it live, but then he likes to release the audio
Live to tape.
Yeah, so live to tape.
Oh.
Yeah, so we recorded
I
last night.
usually see him pop up on my Facebook once in a while.
Yeah, it's not. It's
a good
previously
podcast.
recorded. Like even though the video is like previously recorded.
He got really good at interviewing.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It was just me and him. Alex was not there, so it was me and him, but it was good.
Yeah.
But for some reason my phone would not work with my headphones. I had to use my iPad. But it
Oh,
came
really?
out, it came out good though.
If you ever need a supplement, let me know.
Okay, yeah, it was like last minute. I was like, oh, I have my phone that will work, and I didn't have my headphones, and then my Bluetooth wouldn't work. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? But it worked, so it was fun. So I'll be on Moran and Friends next week. I'll
Cool.
share
You
it,
got a
so.
cool little graphic.
Yeah, I got the cool cartoon. Yeah, so I had to post that and stuff. It's pretty cool. That I told him, I was like, whoever your art guy, that's a fantastic idea.
It is.
All the 80s wrestling cartoons.
Mhm.
Well, his last 2 seasons were one artist, and this artist is different for this season because he couldn't get a hold of the same guy for the
Oh,
first
but you can't tell. I mean,
a little bit.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think they're still good.
Yeah, some are good, and some I was like, ooh, a little rough.
No,
But-
I didn't see them all, but
yeah, but they're fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
People want to be booked in his podcast because they want a
Yeah,
cartoon.
just
Yeah.
with their cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
smart idea. Smart man.
Listen, I people are hopefully want to be on the podcast or want to get their on the logo eventually. You know.
Hey, people love seeing themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be doing that, and then our shows. I plugged all our shows in the podcast. So we'll plug
Appreciate that.
there. And I didn't have anything else to plug because I was like, I don't have anything. I have no shows really come up wrestling wise until January. But you can't tell people like, oh, I'm wrestling in April because like they forget.
Yeah.
I know
But,
one show is PPW New Beginnings on January 15th.
Yeah. And then Backbreakers on the 28th,
29th.
29th.
and
Same
then,
day as the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and then Outbreak will be coming back. I think March is the first Outbreak show. So and then
Cool.
Superstar Wrestling. I know they're doing a cool show in a bar in February, but I can't do it.
Are you doing the whole day of PPW? Or you just coming later for?
I don't know. They didn't.
Are you
say
coming to the
anything,
con?
So I don't know.
Come to the con, set up
Yeah.
a table, and sell your stuff.
I mean, I could. I mean,
I would.
I don't know if they want me. So I don't. We'll see.
That's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be fun though. Brian,
ProjectHumanoid.com, as always. This is one of the busy weeks because we have Murder My Dude, which should be coming out. I should probably upload it, actually. It's supposed to be coming out at midnight if I have time to do it. If not, I'll be up some time tomorrow. This week we talked about, because Christmas is right around the corner, we talked about the Amazon review killer. He is a guy who killed a bunch of people and then left like really weird product reviews on Amazon.
it's so fascinating.
Yeah, there's
So
one about
weird.
like a shovel is like great if you forget one of those little portable shovels, like great if you have to hide a body or something like that, but you don't have you forgot to bring the main shovel. And he was actually killing people while he was doing this.
Crazy.
So we're going to talk about that. And then Cheesesteak Suplex will be out Sunday at midnight. This week we covered some things about Ring of Honor. Oh, one thing we should have talked about earlier, we did talk about on that show was we did talk a little bit about Jimmy Rave, who just passed away.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of his history
Yeah. Sad story.
and
yeah.
just some general fun stuff.
You know what's not interesting, but sad or like. All right, so I get messages a lot. I don't know if they're bots or if they're legit people asking for help. I want to be if it's legit people asking for help. I want you to know that I wish I can. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't have it. You know what I mean? people think because you see on the podcast and I post all my stuff that I'm killing the game.
Yeah, making
I'm not making shit.
thousands a week.
People aren't buying merch. I have like 3 people on Patreon. I'm not making shit. I'm working hard to be able to do that.
Mhm.
So I have a lot of people messaging me like, hey man, it's Christmas time. I'm going through something. Can you send me a couple bucks? Or I'm stuck somewhere. Can you help me? Bro, I wish I had it. I mean, like I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get to my next paycheck.
Mhm.
But I went back and looked through my messages. I believe I got a message on the podcast page from Jimmy Rave
Yeah.
saying I just got out of surgery and I just
Yeah, I've seen other people posting on Twitter that they got that.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't know how legit that was because I got that too. But I was like, I don't talk to him, so I don't know if that was legit or not. So I don't want to. I want to say yes or
man,
no.
because if people are legit asking for help, I wish I could help you.
Yeah.
But you have to also realize when you send messages like that, people immediately put their flags up thinking that it's
And now if he would post,
Look
it
what
from
happened to
his-
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many scammers out there right now, even within like the
Yeah.
tarot community and stuff. There's so many rip-off artists saying, "Oh, well, I'm the tarot lady, and I'm gonna give you a reading. Like
Mhm.
message me and DM me or PayPal me $50, and I'll give you a reading."
Yeah, and
That's such bullshit. But
a lot of people they don't care if they.
So I don't know if
using
that was
someone's-
legit Jimmy Rave or if that was someone taking
Right.
Jimmy Rave's situation and trying to make money
Yeah,
off it.
Correct.
I don't know.
I believe it was the actual Jimmy Ray, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I feel terrible that like I did like
Yeah.
I don't got it.
was it linked to like a GoFundMe page or anything?
I believe it was, yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of, there is a GoFundMe now for that referee that got stabbed with a spike
Yeah,
What a
by
fucking-
Hannibal.
What a
Yeah.
scumbag.
yeah, he's done. That Hannibal guy who apparently has like a YouTube channel. or
Hannibal
something.
TV. They do a lot of like shooter interviews on
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it's a pretty big page.
Just fucking taking advantage of somebody.
Yeah,
Well, he said that the ref knew it was a spot. He didn't really know how to use the spike though. So then don't do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gross.
That's why I tell people, hey, you know how to take a move, then
Did
we'll
you see
do
the
it.
picture of the hospital bed?
Yeah,
He could have died.
he almost died. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad.
Anything else?
No, ProjectHumanoid.com. Murder My Dude should be up.
What's the next topic on Cheesesteak Suplex?
Cheesesteak Suplex. This week we did a Ring of Honor. We talked about Jimmy Rave a little bit. We did a lot of like non-wrestling stuff too. Just general like the banter. We do a lot of that.
What was your? It came from Philly for the week.
I don't
Can't spoil it.
remember.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Jack came from Philly.
Yeah,
He did.
You get
Uh,
tons of Jack from Philly stories.
that one when Jack was talking about the sandwich from Wawa, the Thanksgiving
The
sandwich.
Gobbler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want that minus the mayo.
Well, you can
Yeah,
do the
when that came out, Jack was dating this girl.
it was.
So we
That's how I categorize
well,
everything.
it's tough. That's how he organizes his time.
Yeah, it's like the
But
Marvel universe. Like when
Yeah,
the
most
first one we
people
ca-
like forget and they don't even want to think.
it's
about
very fascinating how he how he remembers his life. It's
yeah.
I honestly don't remember what it came from Philly was, but tune in and find out.
There you
There's a
go.
good tease.
It could be something. Could be a snack.
It could be a cheesesteak. It could be.
a musical artist. I don't
Oh,
know.
I remember. what it
Boys to
was.
Men came from.
I
Philly.
remember. I remember what it was now.
feel like can have them.
Boys to Men's good. You stop.
And it was like
Oh,
something that was the first in America, not the first in the world. But tune in and find out.
Oh,
there it is. Kelly.
Not Cool in High School on Tuesday. Tune in. We're talking Halo. Andy's taking charge.
Yeah, I forgot. I apologize to the rest of the team because we kind of threw a curveball at them. I didn't tell them. They thought we were doing Christmas stuff again. I was like,
Oh, well,
yeah.
we can do that. It don't
no,
matter.
no, you're
You can do Halo
Oh, by the
whenever.
way, little teaser for next week's Tuesday Suplex because I think we're putting it out on Christmas Day. We're going to be talking about like Christmas and wrestling.
Oh, there we
It's
go.
different Christmas
Cool.
characters, Christmas shows. things like
Santa
that.
Claus.
Maybe him, maybe a little Christmas creature.
You know, Christmas, there
yeah.
we go.
TBI. We skipped this week. Wasn't feeling it. Was having a bad day. But we are still doing the Yule episode. We will do it the Tuesday after Christmas. So we
Well,
will
you know,
still.
there is Greek Christmas, which is January, what, the 6th or 7th?
I
Yeah,
wanna-
that's
really
and you know
wanna
what?
learn-
I will, honest to God, I will never take my Christmas tree down until those Three Kings frickin' pass, and that's Russian Christmas actually.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like January 13th or
I'm
something.
so excited that Heidi
Yeah.
did not put a tree up this year.
Oh.
We have like a little light up
Okay.
tree. That's enough for
I
me.
hate the fucking tree.
Fucking
All
hate
right,
it.
just get a little thing. And put
Yeah.
Is everybody still alive in Whamageddon? We did talk about Whamageddon on Cheesesteak Suplex.
Whamageddon.
It's when you
What?
try to go the entire month of December up until Christmas without hearing the song "Last Christmas" by Wham.
Oh, that's hard. Because when we work in
You- when
stores,
you're-
it's
you're
hard.
in
Yeah,
stores all the
that's-
time.
that's-
I think I'm doing well.
I'm still alive.
I'm still alive. too.
I'm sure I've heard it.
I'm sure Heidi
That's why
played it, but I was asleep. So
I
don't remember.
love December 26th because they turn that fucking Christmas music off. There's some of them perverts with the radio stations that they keep it till New Year's Day. It's like, no, it's over. It's over.
Yeah,
Take it down.
you've already put up Christmas music the day
sound like
after
a-
Yeah.
the day
Honest to
after
God,
the day after Halloween. You're starting your
Yeah.
Christmas music.
Is
Maybe
1
both
month.
both of you are sounding like Rodney used to. He'd be like, no Christmas music till December 15th. That is it.
That's pretty. Yeah.
I
That
always
is it.
thought-
I am not dealing with Mariah Carey and all her bullshit.
Yeah, and then-
I
and
always
then-
thought Thanksgiving is a good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I like
before
December
Thanksgiving.
15th. I want to adopt that.
Yeah, I like that
he
too.
was December 15th.
Like-
And no Christmas decorations till then either.
Wow.
Heidi, you
One month
cannot
is enough.
celebrate Christmas till your birthday.
And then also
I gotta-
our
I gotta
next
fuck you.
next week's show is going to be on Festivus,
Oh, there we go.
Festivus.
A Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Big E singlet.
December 23rd. That'll be our.
Well, we
next-
can announce this and talk about it. I'll put this in the plugs too. If you are local to us, January
28th.
28th, we will not. Well, actually, we don't have to skip an episode. 'cause
Friday,
It'll
yeah.
be a Friday now.
Oh, I was like,
We
I
are
don't know what's
going.
happening.
Andy's going to a bar, whether he likes
It's
it or not.
It's not a bar.
We're making. It's a bar.
It's a bar.
totally a bar.
It's a brewery. There's a difference.
He's right. It's a brewery.
There's,
Okay.
there's a difference.
It's a nano brewery.
There is
What
a
is the difference?
Mickey Courtney's. Well, what's it called now? What's that dive bar in Pottsville called? Shit, by the old giant.
Calling it.
What's a dive bar in
Farrell?
Frackville that
Oh,
sucks?
I forget what it's called now.
I mean,
think they're
give me
all-
a shitty one.
in Frackville?
Yeah,
There's really not one for Ellen.
Romans or
Okay.
Top Dog or whatever, Mad Dog or whatever.
dive bar brewery.
All right, so it's
Well,
You
they
see the
actually make the
difference?
beer there too, so it is a brewery.
Even a nice bar brewery. There's
Okay.
a difference.
I'll get behind that. But you will be hanging out with us.
I'm sure they wouldn't like it if you called it their bar. They'd say, "No, we're a brewery."
I think it's the same.
No, it's not.
No.
It's
Hey,
not. Andy's right.
Can you put Trogs in the same classification as Black Diamond?
If
No,
I'm
because
going
Trogs
to,
don't even
Yeah,
freaking serve
no.
food.
The brewery
No.
has a bar.
but if I'm going to drink beer, I'm going to a bar. I don't know. That's just my.
It's a bar at
terminology.
a brewery.
Yeah, bar and a brewery.
Well, this is like highfalutin bar. Highfalutin.
Yeah, it's high class.
High class.
Listen, some people drink a beer. Some people
It don't
put the
matter.
pinky up.
It don't matter what
You're still drinking beer.
Yeah, so you're eating food at a grocery store, but you're also eating food at a restaurant
I like it. So
How are you eating?
because the
Grocery-
Giant and Weiss have a food section where you can eat food,
Oh.
but that does not make it a restaurant.
I think that's the restaurant section of the grocery.
You could say that, but it's not. You wouldn't say, "I'm going to take you to a
All right,
restaurant
so
and then I
where-
take you to Weiss."
So over in the corner is the brewery, and where I drink the beer is at the bar.
Well, you could say the bar. It's a bar, but it's not like that. Physical is a bar, but the place is not a bar.
All right. Well, this took a long time to get there, but Bryce
We are the
Remsbrand,
bar.
Bryce Remsbrand will be at
Remsburg.
Remsburg.
Rembrandt might be there too.
Yeah, he might be there. Bryce Remsburg will be at Pilgaroo Brewing Company, January 28th, hosting a wrestling trivia contest. Now, listen, you can come, but you're playing for second because
Look, they did this before, and I finished second. And
You finished second
Yeah.
and a trivia contest?
he literally-
Wrestling trivia.
yeah, he got too
And
drunk and forgot the numbers.
I put on this front that everything's okay, but I lost a part of myself that day, and I'm getting it back.
Yeah.
I'm getting it back.
If Bryce makes the questions, there might be a lot of Chikara stuff in there.
I'm getting it back.
He was, who was already prepping him for this trivia?
Yes, he does. I talked about it on the way over here.
Yeah, and Anthony
Anthony
Green.
Oh, I
Green
thought you meant prepping Bryce. I'm like, what
No,
are you talking
he's
to
prepping-
Bryce?
Anthony Green was drilling me on wrestling questions.
He got him with the very first one. He didn't know the answer to the very first question.
Yeah,
and
neither did I.
he goes, this guy's your encyclopedia. And then he tried to get him again with like 3 or 4 more.
obscure TNA questions.
And even PCO was like, this guy's good. Yeah. He's like, well, who was the first match for Ken Shamrock? And he's like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like this guy. Yeah, and we got to talk about PCO with his match with Bret Hart. That was a cool
Bret Hart
moment.
with
That's
fighting
cool,
over the jacket
Yeah.
about them not being the Mounties.
Yeah.
You're like, Vince was mad at the RCMP.
It was good.
So we were not the Mounties.
Yeah.
But,
They even have music. Not
check
the
out
Monkeys.
iwepnetwork.com. Get the new merchandise. If you do, take a picture of you with the new merchandise and send it to us so we can share it and show people that people actually buy it. If you also want to support us, you can head over to the Patreon. It's $1, $5. It's a monthly thing. It helps us grow, helps us pay for some bills, like some things we do to keep the podcast running. It means a lot. It helps out a lot. So if you have it, do it. If you can't and you don't have the funds to do it, I completely understand. It's holiday season coming up. You can just help us out with a share. If you made it this far and you made it to the audio and the video,
Like or subscribe.
hit the like, hit the follow, hit the subscribe. If you were on Apple, leave us a review. We want to start reading reviews off. We are very proud to announce that we are in the top 250 list in the United States for on Apple Podcasts. We just recently got bumped out because usually like the day before episode, we shuffle back because we're not a daily
Recent.
wrestling podcast.
Right.
So the fact that we're a
Oh,
weekly
okay,
wrestling
yeah.
podcast and we make it to almost the next episode in the ranking system is fucking
Because like
awesome.
post wrestling, they do like a Raw review.
Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of those people will bump everyone out. But the
Yeah.
fact that we still stay strong up until almost the day before our episode is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great.
that helps because people are listening on Apple. If you really want to help us get there, share it. Let more people know, or leave a review. That helps us through the rankings too. And not only did we break into the top 250 in the United States, we are now in the top 100 at one point in time in Canada.
Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, we
I
forgot to put
love
over all the Trish Stratus is great.
Yeah. Listen, we put a
Best
lot of
female
PCO
wrestler
over.
ever.
PCO is great.
Yeah. Bret Hart.
We love our Canadians. Listen,
I even like Jacques Rougeau.
I will say this right now. Next
He's
podcast,
an all-American boy.
Yeah.
next podcast, I will bust out the one and only shirt that I own that someone gave me that I would not wear because it is not Shawn Michaels.
Well, that would
Because-
that would rule out all your wrestling shirts that aren't Shawn Michaels.
Because not only are we ranked in Canada, I will show the love back to Canada. Next podcast, you will see me in front of that banner with my Bret Hart t-shirt.
There you
That's
go.
right.
I don't think I have any Canadian wrestlers.
Well, that's our.
I
that's our
have-
hard-
I have one.
Wait.
I have
Kenny's
one.
from Canada.
Yeah,
Kenny's
Kenny's from Canada. I can wear my Kenny shirt too.
I have one.
Everyone wear a Canadian
have
wrestling
one.
shirt next week to show our newest
Kenny is
support
like a
and love.
Canadian jewel.
I have a Edge
I'll
shirt
have
as
to
well.
wear the
I
same
have a-
shirt I wore at PPW.
I have one of the Edge shirts from like fucking 99
Yeah.
in
You
2000.
still have it.
Yep, it's still in good shape. May I wear that? It's the
And it's
sex
not
and
like,
violence
oh,
one.
It's not like all crackly.
No, I
and
take
stuff
care of
in
my
the
shirts.
graphic.
I mean, there's a little bit of cracks because
Yeah.
it's 20 years old, but
But
Yeah.
but thank
Not
you
like
to
dry-
Canada.
Dry rot it.
If you ever need us to move up there, we will.
Oh,
gladly
free
go.
healthcare.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah, let us know. We'll sleep on your
Hockey,
couch
Free healthcare. Yeah, hell
as
yeah.
long as we could take you over your kitchen to record the podcast.
Get some
Uh,
poutine.
Some-
I like a lot of Canadian bacon. To be honest with you, I like
Listen,
They want to pick up their ketchup chips. They love ketchup
Really?
chips. up
Yeah.
there.
the Hers ketchup chips. Okay.
but this has gone way too long. IWEPnetwork.com. Like I said, shares and stuff are helping out. Thank you guys so much. Canada, we love you, baby. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.